We should just put everything on Justin's tab.
Now we're
Justin Rollins,
talking.
or not Coos.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Coos.
I told you, we have a meeting tomorrow. You got to order off the dollar menu.
Yeah.
Where are we going to meet tomorrow, by the way? Do we know?
I don't know.
Restaurant? No. All right, we'll just play it by ear.
Well,
eventually.
I'll eat Mr. Chubby's every day, so if we do have Uber Eats, or if Coos wants to pick those up, go for a little bit of ride, he can.
All right.
Speaking of what you did and being very disciplined, I was that way the other night. See, I'm on the intermittent fasting.
Yes, you
right?
are. And it's paying dividends. Your golf game's never been better.
Yeah.
You're looking good. You're feeling great.
I'm wearing medium shirts.
Medium shirts all the time, feeling confident, walking tall.
But it's all right, right? So, but the track threw us off at Daytona Monday, right? Yeah, I ate lunch and then I didn't eat. And so Weber, this is what happens in TV land.
Okay.
So you're done at 11:30 at the track, and we're driving home, and it's midnight, and we stop at Wendy's. And so Weber orders up Wendy's.
Sure. And
I'm like, all right, well, I can cheat. Austin said I can cheat on it. Like, it's all right. You're just going to get back
Austin didn't say anything,
he
man.
Did.
You're a grown man. You can do whatever you want, Brent.
I think I remember him saying that.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, just cheat tonight, get back on. It's probably good if I eat something,
Treat
right?
yourself.
I haven't eaten much.
Yeah, you have to get your calorie intake for the day.
So I'm in the driver's side. I'm doing the ordering.
Okay.
So steward orders. I'm like, all right, that's it. I didn't even order.
Wow.
No slip up.
Wow.
At all.
But see, we've been over this
I've come a long
conversation
way.
though, Brent. When you do this intermittent fasting, it's not considered a slip up. I mean, you have to get your calories in for the day. You have to get your proteins in for the day. So you could have got like a Wendy's like bacon cheeseburger, and I wouldn't have been upset with you.
That's good.
You would have been okay in my eyes.
Yeah, I know, but I'm trying to stick to it. So here we are. All right.
Well, I'm proud of you, man.
So anyway, I'm all fired up. I don't know what seriously fired me up. The Maple Cajun wings at Mr. Chubby's.
Yeah.
The fact that we're talking about the show because we're with Justin, sales guy, and we're talking to Will a little bit, but telling our story. We've got some good numbers coming in recently. I can't share all those, but it's a good story to tell right now. So I'm excited. And we've got some good topics today. How about this? CBA getting close. Austin walks into Mr. Chubby's as I say that. Says, wait a minute, dude. Not so fast.
Let's go and pump those brakes a little bit.
Yeah. So, but 17-game season on the horizon. We still think that will be an interesting talking point and maybe a breaking point in any of the agreement that could happen. Leonard Fournette tweeting out today that I don't like that idea, as he tweeted. But what we do think is now happening, according to Adam Schefter and so many others now, is a playoff expansion in the NFL. That could happen as soon as this year. So I think I heard the term, even if they were to agree on a CBA, which they're trying to get done, that's the narrative being pushed out there. Who pushed it out there? Was it the NFL? Was it the owners? We don't know. Did they jointly put that out there? Because a lot of the national guys started to get it yesterday evening.
Sure.
But if they do finish this thing off, what you hear is a transitional CBA agreement. And I guess what that means is some things could go into effect this year, which could be the playoffs. Some things could go in next year. And then other things, maybe even the 17 games, could even take a little bit longer to like 2022, 2023. And I think I saw somewhere someone said no later than 2023 if that gets agreed upon for that to start. So bottom line is, I'm stunned if anything were to get done in the next month on the CBA. That would be alarming to me and very unusual. Although the NFL's been pretty good overall. This hasn't been a work stoppage in a long, long time in terms of missing games. Now, you obviously came in at the time where there was a work stoppage and you missed training camp. But in terms of missing games, regular season games especially, that hasn't happened in a heck of a long time in the NFL. So they've been very good at that, and they're trying to avoid that. And I give both sides a lot of credit for at least getting to the table and talking early on in this process, not waiting until the last minute. That being said, I'm kind of with you. I'm a little surprised if something were to get done and agreed upon with all the things at stake here and for the longevity of this next deal, if it were to get done in the next few weeks.
So, listen, I don't know who leaked out the information saying they're close to coming to terms. I don't think you know either. I would assume it's somebody from the NFL offices and not from the NFLPA offices, okay? This is definitely an ownership NFL type of thing more than it is an NFL players union kind of thing. Because when we talk about the NFL, Brent, whether it's an owner, whether it's a head coach, or whether it's a player in that locker room, it all comes down to wins and losses, okay? And if you want to go back to the CBA, my second year, I think 2011 it would have been, and you want to talk about who won and who lost that CBA agreement, the players lost.
Absolutely.
The players lost by a lot. The owners won, okay? And I get it. That was 10 years ago, but that taste is still in the mouths of all those players in the locker room, whether they're around for it or not. They understand what happened in the last CBA, okay? And they understand that whether it was maybe some of the fine print, some of the small writing, whatever it was, the owners got out on the players, okay? So for a source to come out and say, you know what, they're making progress here. They're getting close to a deal. I find that hard to believe because there's going to be some pushback from the players union. There absolutely has to be, was resulting what happened in the last CBA. So I don't think they're going to be close. The 17-game season, well, awesome. Sounds good on paper. More football. We all love that. More money. I don't think that's going to be close. And as far as the playoff format, yeah, I mean, I can definitely see that. But there's a lot of things that I think need to happen through the CBA, more on the player side of, you know, the owners coming to meet the players, where it has to happen to, you know, kind of meet in the middle before it goes through. And I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.
That's interesting because I wonder if there's a lot that has to happen. I think there are some key big talking points. The 17-game season is a big talking point.
So,
marijuana is a big talking point.
So I think above all, Brenton, you say it yourself, money talks.
Yes.
To me, the biggest talking point that doesn't really get talked about a lot is the percentage.
Yeah.
Is the percentage.
But in this
that's number one.
Now listen, it depends who you believe. And Schefter, I think I saw him on. I saw his report. Something to the effect of what I saw was 1% more. So for it now, players get 47%. And we're not going to do crazy math on you, but 1% more doesn't seem like a lot to 48%.
It's billions of dollars.
Billions. It's
not enough
for
though.
Players.
Yeah.
So, and maybe 48.5 if they go to a 17th game. So billions more dollars.
Sure.
Potentially. Here's where the problem lies for the players versus the owners. The players, however many of them, 300 and something of them, they have themselves to worry about in the present and maybe the next handful of years, 5, 6, 7 years. The owners, most of the time, for the length of this agreement, that guy's staying on for the length of this agreement.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
The players are shuffling in and out. It's a revolving door. And what you're asking players to do is look out for yourself, but also look out for the next guy.
Yeah.
Well, guess
That's
where
hard to say.
yourself and the next guy rank on the list.
Yeah.
Yourself is way up here, and the next guy is way down here, even though it sounds good in a soundbite.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why I think the players often lose this, because the owners are looking out what's good for us now and in 10 years. Players looking out, well, essentially right now, what's good for me. And if you're going to tell me that in the next 3 years, I still get to play 16 games in 2021-22, let's just say that's the case. I'm making this up. But 2021-22, and we're getting billions of more dollars of the pie split to me. And then 2023, oh, shoot, that's 4 years down the road. You might have to play a 17th game. Yeah, sure. Billions more dollars. Sounds good. 16 games. Sounds good. I got a better chance to make the playoffs, too. I like that. I want to make the playoffs. And I get dollars if I make the playoffs because there's always a playoff bonus. That's why I think it's hard for the players, though. That's my point. Like, if you have those conversations and we talk about the next 2-3 years, it's hard for anybody to look 7, 8, 9 years down the road. And it's really hard, unless they're your kids, to care that much about the next guy coming up.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You know, and I don't want to bore people with analytics and numbers here, but I guess to put it kind of bluntly here, what happened with the last CBA, like you said, it was 47% that was agreed upon.
Yeah.
And at the time when that agreement came out, like you said, the players were concerned about the now. And it's like, all right, well, let's see how much money the NFL generates. Okay, so we get 47% of that. All right, not bad. But what they didn't have the foresight to see was the fact that every single year the NFL is growing and it's getting bigger and it's getting bigger and there's more advertising. There, you know, the wheel keeps turning and the NFL keeps growing.
Yeah.
The way that CBA was put in last time, even though it kept on growing, the players didn't see that growth. It was only at 47%, and the owners got richer, and the owners got richer after every single year because the NFL was always growing.
Now, their number didn't stay the same, but it
No,
didn't
correct. But
escalate
it didn't
as quickly
escalate.
as the owners.
Exactly. So the owners essentially made more money as the time went on, right? So that's the problem that you have to have this time around, where up front, the first couple years looks fantastic, but you have to understand, where do you see the future of the NFL going? Is it going to keep on growing? Well, I think so, Brent. I think it's the most popular sport, definitely, in the United States. And if you're going to have advertisers, you're going to have sponsors keep, shilling money into it, then why wouldn't you expect the NFL to keep on rising and rising? So that's, from the big part of it, and the number one priority for the players' union, in my opinion, is to get that chunk of the pie and to make sure that if the prices do inflate, if there is growth, then the players also get to see some of that growth.
Yeah, and again, they will see if 47% of $2 billion versus 47% of $3 billion is growth. Mm-hmm. But what you're saying is, should they need to stack up 47% of $2 billion, but if it grows to $5 billion, we get 47.2% of that.
Exactly. Because then the owners make a lot more than the players.
They're making a lot more. So that's where it throws off. Early on, it's probably okay. But if there is continued growth, well, then it throws off the chart.
Exactly, and that was the biggest discrepancy of the CBA back in 2011. That's what kind of ticked players off so much, was the fact that up front it looked great, but then as time progressed, we understood that, wow, these owners are making a lot more money now because the NFL is obviously growing.
And keep in mind, this is always a tough deal for players, because the fans, the people we're talking to right now, people that are listening, people that are trying to absorb all this and be like, what the heck are you guys talking about, right? And there's a little bit of that. Say, just give me my damn football.
Sure.
They don't care to that degree about the players. So the players are in a tough spot. One, they have to think about the next generation, the next player down the list, but they also have to wrestle against the idea that owners want to play and get this done because they want to make their money, and fans want you to play because they want to see football.
Well, and keep in mind here, too, as far as the disadvantage is concerned, you have 32 owners who are all businessmen, obviously, because they own NFL teams. So they know business,
yes.
Okay?
And it's just 32 of them.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. And they know what they're doing, as opposed to the players' union, which is made up of old and new players, where there's hundreds and hundreds of players. There's the new school. There's the old school. And they're all trying to get their part. And they all have to be on the same page. And that was the problem that we had back in 2011, was the fact that we had some guys that wanted to branch out and do their own thing for, the future guys. We had some guys that were, making a lot more money. They're just like, yeah, I'm happy how it is.
Yeah, that's good.
It's hard to get everybody on the same page, but I think nowadays, especially with the modern era NFL player, I think you have a better chance to do that than we did.
And to credit the players' union, they tried to lay the foundation on this stuff way in advance, way in advance. So maybe that has helped. Resolution everybody does want, but they want it in a fair kind of way. Let's talk about the one that could happen this year, playoff expansion. What they're talking about, what Adam Schefter reported, now what's being reported, that could happen this year if that gets done. I don't even know if a CBA has to be agreed upon to get this part done.
Yeah.
You can shed some light on that, but we'll talk about it on the other side.
Yep.
You'll like the idea of expansion. Some people think it waters it down. More teams are interested in. Does it increase the Jags' chances of getting to the postseason?
Well, keep in mind, too, with this playoff expansion, that means only one team gets a bye the first round. So
we'll
keep that in
explain
mind,
it.
too.
We'll see if you like it. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN690 here on a Thursday. Thanks for hanging out with us. You can always jump in the conversation. 904-362-9901.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the first alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Mostly cloudy today with a few scattered showers. Highs in the 60s to low 70s, turning cooler by late afternoon. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jacks from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where for a limited time,
0% financing store-wide.
Find out more at beardsdiamonds.com.
Hey, everybody, this is Brent Martineau. My family and I invested in a Connecticut system from CGC Water a while ago, and we're so glad we did. The team at CGC Water makes it so easy to get the best quality water running through my entire home and the best tasting drinking water right at my sink. Do yourselves a favor and start the new year off right. Find out how you can get a free Connecticut A200 RO this month by calling 904-694-2424. Make sure you tell them Brent sent you and visit cgcwater.com as well, your local authorized independent Connecticut dealer.
Are you looking for a venue to celebrate your special occasion that guests can't stop talking about? Call Riverside North Special Events and Banquet Hall. We specialize in anniversaries, weddings, birthday parties, corporate meetings, family reunions, fundraisers, graduations, and funerals. This unique, all-inclusive, full-service venue is the way to go. Call us today at 354-4162 and let us book your next event. All proceeds from bookings benefit the Clara White Mission.
If you have been operating a small business but now need to grow and generate more revenue, SCORE can help you attract more customers. We offer free resources including mentoring, online webinars, and workshops. Since 1964, SCORE has helped more than 11 million entrepreneurs and small business owners. In Jacksonville, SCORE provides services to almost 6,000 individuals annually. Find out more about how SCORE can assist your business by visiting jacksonville.score.org.
You can afford luxury. You can afford a new Infiniti from Atlantic Infiniti. Now's the time to trade in and trade up. Why wait when you can trade in the vehicle you're driving now and move up to the luxury and performance of an Infiniti? Right now, Atlantic Infiniti is offering higher trade-in values than ever before. Get more for your trade now and get more from life with the luxury and performance of a brand new Infiniti at the one and only Atlantic Infiniti. Call now to get more than ever for your trade-in. 642-0200 or AtlanticInfiniti.com.
Did you know financial health is as important as staying physically fit? Be sure to stop by the Community First Credit Union booth at the Jax Health and Fitness Expo this Saturday, February 22nd at the Morocco Shrine Center to get a free financial health score and enter to win $500 cash. We will also have expert staff on site to answer any money-related questions or play our special Cash Cube game, all at the Community First Credit Union booth at the Jax Health and Fitness Expo. Visit jaxhealth2020.com for more info.
Sí, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
You like money. I suggest you get your voice looked at.
It's allergy season.
It seems to be always allergy season, Stugatz.
That's because it is.
The Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugatz on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
It's me, DDP, Diamond Dallas Page, the king of bada bing. This is Action Sports Jax. Bang!
They were just at a different level of competitiveness. It's not even taking us out of, in order to take us out, we would have had to be in. So we weren't in to be taken out. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just, it's not like we were all, like we're hunkering down and whatever, and we were never there. And that's on all of us.
Mike Krzyzewski, after Duke got throttled last night by NC State. Tobacco Road celebration. I was a little surprised at the crazy celebration. I mean, NC State's pretty good. They're 500 in the ACC. I think they have 16 wins.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like, I don't know. It's just that you beat Duke at home, and Duke's not even like unbelievable Duke.
They're still Duke, though. They still have all those Duke characteristics that you look for in a college basketball team.
I don't mind an on-court, rush-the-court celebration. I really don't. It's fine. Like, I know people get, like, really should be doing that and rushing the field, like football and basketball. I think it's kind of fun. It's a good atmosphere. But I would say sometimes I'm like, really? It's February.
Plenty of time.
Yeah, I just didn't see it with that one. But
that might be like their one shining moment, though, Brent. Right? Like they may not make the tournament.
And so good for them. They had fun with it, and that's cool. And they throttled them. But I feel like if you had to designate upsets, you'd have to be like true upset to rush a court, which like Evansville beating Kentucky or Evansville beating anybody in the top 25. But that doesn't even happen on your own court very often because you're not usually hosting that game. But if anybody beats like a number 1 or number 2 team and they're unranked, like I feel like that should be the threshold, But 6th ranked Duke, like we're rushing the court to beat 6th ranked Duke.
Dude, the 22-4.
Yeah,
it's Duke. What more do you want?
Well, that's what you just said, though. It's
Duke.
It's
Duke,
and that will show you how big Duke is.
And they're in
my
your
point being is
conference.
if it was 6th ranked, give me another team. It was 6th ranked Wake Forest.
It was like San Diego State came to NC State.
But keep them in the ACC.
Okay, Wake Forest.
So Wake Forest or Florida State.
Okay.
How about Florida State? Florida State 8th ranked or whatever they are. Would they have rushed a court?
I think so. Why not, dude?
Do you?
Yeah, I think so.
I think you said. I think it was because it was Duke.
Oh, okay. I just think like if you're in the top 10 and your team is not even ranked and you beat them decisively, then why not, man?
Yeah,
have some fun.
Like I said, I'm not I I can't believe they just did that.
That's going to write a very concerning letter to Tobacco Road. I can't believe what I'm watching here. My kids were watching that game.
It does show you how long like NC State's been kind of out of the talk.
Listen, people love an excuse to celebrate and party, Brent. And
it's true.
If you beat Duke,
that's why we have Valentine's Day.
Go ahead and celebrate and party. That's why we have Valentine's
Halloween.
Day. Oh, don't knock Halloween now, man. Come on.
Not a big fan.
Oh, wow. So what's one of my favorites?
I know.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people's favorites, but I'm in the minority there.
Okay, well, real quick then. Your favorite holiday? Just so I know.
It'd be Christmas.
Okay.
And then Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And then I don't have one.
Fair enough. Sounds good. 4th of July, just not even on our Independence? Yeah.
Oh, no, don't start.
Who cares, huh?
Don't start.
Who cares about 4th of July, right?
Don't start pigeonholing me to what they all mean.
No, that's
and
cool.
now,
No,
I'm pretty sure. Are you going to tell me like I'm a racist now because I didn't name Martin Luther King Day?
Not at all, man. But hey,
I mean,
you're very adamant that 4th of July just doesn't do it for you. Yeah, people can think whatever they want to think about Brent Martin.
I'm just being honest.
That's Brent at ASJax on Twitter.
I work them all. Okay,
you work them all. There you go. They're all great. They're all good.
Yep. Sometimes I work them all. Actually, probably 4th of July is the one I've had off the most.
There you go.
We'll say in our business because that's kind of the later time.
time.
All right. Do you like playoff expansion in the NFL? Before I get myself in trouble. That is the question right now on ESPN690. All right, first glance, do you like it or not?
Sure. Playoff expansion. I liked it until I kind of dug around a little bit and figured out what would have to happen for the playoff expansion, and that means that only one team gets a bye. So what does that mean on a bigger scale? If only one playoff team gets a bye per conference, so the NFC, AFC, that means that more players are going to be playing in Game 16. In Game 17, if you extend the season, just because they're all vying for that number one spot. So what does that mean? It means that more starters are going to be playing. More starters are not going to be rewarded for having a great season, and it leaves the chance for more players to get hurt. Okay, now I know that's a very it's football. Like Austin, come on, like let's put our helmets on here and go to work. And I get what people are saying from that standpoint, and I'm not saying I'm completely against it, but I'm saying, if you're the league that preaches player safety more than anything, well, then you better meet the players' union halfway, and then you better legalize medical cannabis. I think if you do that, then it's all good because it's more money. Obviously, it's a lot more things. But I just think that to come out and say that you care so much about player safety, but then you add an extra team, and then you added really towards the end of the season for more starters to be playing. It kind of contradicts that.
Did you just basically say that you can add more teams if you make medical cannabis?
Yeah. No. Basically what I'm saying is
that's the trade-off.
I'm saying that if you're really concerned about player safety, which you claim you are.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at how the format's set up, then only one team gets a bye, so more teams are going to be having to play for that number one spot, Brent. It's not going to be like the old times where, the Ravens are sitting players, the Patriots for a long time would sit players. Well, you can't really do that anymore because there's only one spot up for grabs. So there's going to be a lot more guys on great teams that are playing a lot more.
Yeah.
Risk of injuries, there you go. So,
but what I would say to that is, shouldn't that be the way it is? Like, I understand you earn the right to sit if you want, if you've already wrapped it up. I get that. But you play a 16-game schedule, and they all should matter in theory.
Well,
like when, at the
tell it to baseball teams, Brent, tell it to basketball teams then too.
Yeah, but you earn the right to not have them matter if you're good enough. I understand that. That's okay. I'm not saying I have a problem with the guys that sit out in the 16th game. Sometimes I even wonder if it's beneficial or not. But I'm just saying the way it's supposed to be set up is that 162 games in baseball, 82 games in NBA, 16 games, whatever your games are, they all should matter. Now, they're not.
But they don't.
Going to all matter for everybody.
But they don't.
Most of the years. Listen, this is all about entertainment, and it's about more money and all that stuff, but more money for players. I think from a player's perspective, you can say, okay, there are a few more dollars in here, and everybody wants to make the postseason. Everybody wants to make the dance. Being in the playoffs is something big. You can go back and tell me someday down the road that only 4 teams used to make the playoffs, and then only 6 teams, and now 7 teams make the playoffs, and you're like, doesn't matter. It keeps more people interested. The players, I think, are interested. One of the worst things, and we've experienced this a lot around Jacksonville Jaguars, is by the early December, the season's over. And you almost feel for the players that have to keep that mentality like it's still alive even though it's not alive. And certainly there's a lot to play for with contracts and records and accolades and your teammate and pride and all the. But it's like the worst cliche, and are well rehearsed at it here in Jacksonville. Is like, are you playing for pride? Are you playing for pride? Well, no kidding. Yeah, sure, you're playing for pride. You're competing. Yeah. But you got nothing on the line. Let's be honest. There's nothing on the line. Mm-hmm. So this opens the door for more to be on the line. And what people would say is watered down, 8-8 and 7-9 get in. You know, so what? I don't care.
Brent, it's hard to justify a 7-9 and 9 team getting in my opinion.
I don't know if it is in a league that's supposed to be 8-8 anyway.
Yeah, but you can't have a losing record, and I get it's happened before.
It has happened.
But you can't, in my opinion, you cannot have a losing record. You cannot lose more than you win. And then, check it out, we're going to the playoffs now. We're going to reward teams that have lost more than they won. I just can't come with you on that.
I'm trying to think of a team that was 7-9. I don't know what their record ended up being. But the Jets won like 5 out of 7 or something.
Sure.
Didn't they? Someone like that?
Yeah.
And I guess really where this factors in is like, say the Patriots over the years, Tom Brady misses the first 6 weeks with an injury, but he comes back.
Yeah.
Or this would have been really good for Drew Brees and the Saints. Now, Bridgewater went 5-0 in his absence. But if they hadn't, and he's gone for 6-7 weeks, and they went 2-3, and so now their record is totally different, but 8-8 gets them in, and they're one of the best teams in the league, but they didn't have their quarterback for 5 weeks out of the year. That's what this opens the door to, just as much as saying a 7-9 team that's not very good got in. You know what I mean?
So you're saying that you're trying to cater now to quarterbacks that get hurt, basically.
Bottom line is you're not catering to any of that. It's just reality. You're catering to money and an audience that wants to see more playoff football. But that's what you're catering to.
But you're bringing up the point where, say, like a team like the Saints where their quarterback gets hurt. Oh, poor Drew Brees. Now let's cater to him and be like, well, you know what? We're sorry that you got hurt, but welcome back. And guess what? You got a nice, shiny playoff spot waiting for you.
Yes,
to me, that's catering to the hurt player.
Well, my point in this is saying you're telling me that a 7-9 team is always bad. That's what you're telling me.
Okay.
You're basically saying 7-9 teams shouldn't get in because they're bad. They can't even be 500. Well, my point to you is if they didn't have Teddy Bridgewater do that thing, do so well, which is certainly plausible given backup quarterback situations in the NFL, I think you would have said by the end of the year with Drew Brees healthy, the Saints are one of the best teams in the NFL, yet because Drew Brees missed this much time, they're not getting in the playoffs. Yeah, I'm saying that would happen just as much, or it would balance our argument of saying, well, that team stinks and they're 7-9 and they're lucky to get in.
Yeah, but at the same time, it'd be like saying, well, let's cater to this running back that got popped for doing steroids. He's sitting out 4 games. The team's really good, but now they lost their star running back. But guess what? We'll add an extra playoff spot. So maybe because they're a really good team, because the player got popped, he comes back and now they're in the playoffs again. I mean, I can make that argument too. Like
you can.
You can go injuries, you can go drug charges, you can go arrests. I mean, you can go all the things.
Yeah, you can. But what ends up happening at the end of the day is twofold. One, the entertainment value is more teams are in it in the middle of December.
Listen, I'm not naive to that.
And secondly, team that is playing, your job is in any sport is to try to find the team that is the best team in the league. Well, at full strength, depending on when they have full strength, that team might be the best team in the league, and you're giving them a chance to prove it. So I just don't see anything bad with that. I am not that guy either. The 7-9 team, the whatever, you got to have a 500. That's like a bowl thing, right? You have to have a 500 record to go to a bowl game. Well, listen, we understand everybody gets to a bowl game. I'm not in favor of everybody getting into the postseason, but it sure as hell doesn't bother me if half the teams in the NFL, half the teams in whatever get into the postseason. It doesn't. And maybe, again, this is me being scarred in Jacksonville, that I've been around 2 seasons out of a dozen that December has mattered at all. Like, at all. Like, you've even been in the mix in December. So I'm like, bring it on, baby. Get us to Christmas.
Yeah, whatever it takes.
I mean, you tell me the Jags could have been, if they had won one more game, they would have gotten the playoffs this year? Heck yeah. We're talking about that all the way until the end.
Yeah.
So maybe I am shaded a little bit by that, but I do think that's the principle of it. More teams in terms of the players in the locker room, the buildings in general, the organizations, the fan bases, and the outside world are saying, hey, this person's got a chance. It's worked for me. Where has it not worked is my point. See, Bob Costas and baseball did this in the 90s, and people were like, what? You're going to do what? You're going to put wild card teams in? Well, that has worked incredibly. The Washington Nationals just won as a wild card
When's
team.
the last time a wild card team won in the NFL, though? What?
Well, I want to say the Ravens did it way back, but also the Giants did it one of the years. Because remember, the first year, I think they won at Green Bay and at San Francisco. And I'm pretty sure.
I think it might have been it was, the Ravens from, that was New Orleans, 2012, I think it might have been, right? When they played the 49ers?
Might have been.
Okay, so that might have been it.
But
so
my point is, I don't know if that's even the last one.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
It might happen more
almost
often
the Titans.
Almost the Titans, right? So I'm just not against it. I don't see the downside of it. Other than somebody saying 7-9 and they got in. Okay, fine, say it. If they're 7-9, they stink, they'll lose in the first round. And I also don't mind, like you say, the one bye. Well, the one bye now says, hey, that means something. That if you're the best team in your conference, it means something. It carries some weight. Not if you're the second best team, only if you're the best team. The regular season, that bye is important, and it carries weight. You don't have to play while everybody else is playing. Like Kansas City would have had to play. The road to get there would have been more difficult. Now, they got lucky in a lot of respects, but they would have had to play an extra game, and I think it would have come against like the Pittsburgh Steelers, that they would have had to play an extra game this year.
But I guess like theoretically then, though, if you only had one spot to play for, so say you got a team that has like only 2 losses. Well, it's pretty evident they're probably going to get the number 1 seed. So then would you see a lot more teams actually rest their guys because, well, we can't make the 1 spot, so what's the point of even playing our starters then? So actually, the point that I had in the beginning is now kind of contradicting itself a little bit, depending on how it works out. But because we always complain about it, Brent. Like we complain about, week 16 when starters are getting rested, it doesn't mean anything, right? Like fans always complain about that. And
fans mostly complain about that because fantasy football championship might be on the line.
But there are people complaining. So does that get amplified now from the fact that there's only 1 spot to get?
I think it's unlikely because home field still matters as far as you can get it.
Yeah.
And look at Kansas City. I mean, Kansas City, if they didn't get the number 2 seed, which they kind of miraculously got because the Dolphins beat the Patriots, but then they get fortunate enough to be able to play that AFC Championship at home because the Ravens lose in the postseason. So you're still going to jockey for that kind of positioning.
I guess, man, at the end of the day, you knew the Ravens were going to get the 1 seed. So, like, what would be the point of, playing all those games towards the end of the season because you knew the Ravens had the best record?
Well, my point is that the Kansas City Chiefs, if they don't play those games out, even if it was under this new format, they don't play the AFC Championship game at home. And if they don't play the AFC Championship game at home, are you 100% sure they're going to the Super Bowl? I'm not.
Who knows? Yeah, I hear you.
So I don't think that would factor in as much. Again, it is a parity league. Most of the time, nobody's running away with stuff by 3 games. Doesn't happen very often. So you'll have your outlier, no doubt. Just like you'll have your outlier that a 7-9 and really crappy team got in the postseason. Listen, if the Pittsburgh Steelers get in with like their 4th quarterback this year, I'm not saying they would earn their way in, deserve their way in. Yeah, they had a better year than most people said they were going to have, given the fact they lost Ben Roethlisberger, but they're still not a very good team.
Sure.
So if they had gotten in, you would have been like, well, they ain't going anywhere. We know that. But, so it brings a lot of scenarios in. And the fact that it brings scenarios in brings conversation in. And when you bring conversation in, you bring drama in. And when you do that...
Well, and listen,
it's good for everybody.
And it comes down, and you can't be naive to the fact that it's more money for the NFL, right? It's another team in the dance. It's more fans getting involved. It's more money in general. And at the end of the day, that's what makes the world run, and that's what makes the NFL run. So I get it.
Yeah. And really, the biggest money part of this might be the fact that you have now 6 wild card games, so you can spread that over TV even more.
Yeah.
Than you already do. So anyway, what's your thoughts? 904-362-9901. We haven't spent a lot of time on 17-3. I got a feeling I know where Austin's going to live on this part of the decision. But how much of a hang-up will it be in the CBA, as Leonard Fournette tweeted out today? We'll get to that part of it on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. The Players' Championship is almost here. Hey, everybody, this is Brent Martineau. Do you have your tickets yet? Win a couple of weekly Captain's Club tickets and a shopping spree in the new PGA Tour fan shop with me. Yeah, I'll dress you for the Players. Enter to win right now on the contest page on ESPN690.com. Win tickets to the Players' Championship and a shopping spree at the Players' Championship from ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update
I'm Jake Mitchell. As we speak, NFL owners and player reps are discussing a new collective bargaining agreement. One of the moves that seems to be a done deal is expanding the playoff field to 14 teams, adding one extra team per conference while eliminating a bye for each conference. They have also discussed adding an extra game to the season and making the preseason shorter by a game. Here's ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter.
I think Roger Goodell would like to have this deal in place at the Combine in Indianapolis next week.
Former Browns tackle Greg Robinson was arrested with 157 pounds of pot. For context, it would take Snoop Dogg 2 weeks to use that much. He and an accomplice face up to 20 years in federal prison. Stay connected with ESPN 690 while you're at work by listening on ESPN690.com. Best kept secret in tires is TireOutlet.com. Tire Outlet offers wholesale prices, premium service, and TireOutlet.com always has a safety-first focus. Locations throughout the First Coast, there's no need to go anywhere else with tires and service.
Hey, boss, have you heard? More dirt about the Ding Dong Doorbell Company.
Uh-oh, what is it now?
Get this. Some software engineer for the parent company has called for the immediate and permanent shutdown of the company because of privacy issues.
Whoa, this is huge.
Yeah, you just can't keep track of all the hacking stories. Oh, and they just fired employees for spying on customers.
You realize this is bad news for us crooks, right?
What do you mean, boss?
Think about it. When these Ding Dong Doorbell customers finally get fed up, they could end up going to Safe Touch.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Once folks compare the cheap, unreliable, and vulnerable DIY system to a Safe Touch system,
then we've lost them forever. Boss, we gotta hope this Ding Dong Doorbell Company stops messing up.
Exactly. Because we gotta stick to the Crooks Are Us motto. Stay away from Safe Touch houses.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Zero Res can clean your carpets, upholstery, area rugs, tile, grout, granite countertops, and much more. And right now is the time to call Zero Res because they're offering the hottest price of the year. You get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $99. Call Zero Res at 904-287-5727.
In general, I'm a win-win guy. When I have to spend hours searching for the right part, it's lose-lose. It's time lost for me and lost time for my crew. That's why I order from Grainger. With product experts that have the answers to my toughest questions, an easy-to-use website to help me find the right product quickly, I can rely on Grainger to make getting supplies for my business as simple and seamless as possible. When it comes to getting things done, it's a win-win when Grainger's got your back. Call clickgrainger.com or stop by to see for yourself. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Action News Jax, we're here for severe. When storms threaten, put your trust in the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Team, led by Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish, rated the most accurate for the last 13 years.
The First Alert Weather Team is the only team of certified meteorologists in the Jacksonville area. That means we have the most schooling and training to forecast and predict severe weather. And that experience will keep you safe from a storm.
Action News Jax First Alert Weather on CBS 47 and Fox 30.
It's time to chub it up at Mr. Chubby's Wings. Hey, everyone, this is Brent Martineau. You know I love the wings at Mr. Chubby's Wings. Also, though, I love the atmosphere. Lots of TVs to watch college hoops, racing, or MMA. It's a fun atmosphere day or night, lunch or dinner. A full menu, not just wings, but you got to try the wings, especially the Maple Cajun, my favorite. 2 locations, Fleming Island and the West Side. Chub it up at Mr. Chubby's Wings.
I'm Mel Turan, Executive Director of the American Cancer Society. The Players was instrumental in bringing the Richard M. Schultz Family Foundation Hope Lodge to the Jacksonville area, allowing us an opportunity to give cancer patients and their caregiver a free place to stay while seeking treatment. It's 18 days until the Players.
Men, are the effects of hypertension, diabetes, or prostate cancer preventing you from having a satisfying love life? In just one visit, the doctors at Prime Men's Medical Center can help you overcome ED or PE to regain your confidence and have you last longer in the bedroom. Name brand pills don't work for many men and can have serious side effects. The highly skilled physicians at Prime Men's Medical Center provide custom blended medications that are safe, effective, and work immediately, regardless of your medical history or age. You'll see results on your first visit, guaranteed, or your consultation is free. So, if you have problems in the bedroom, call now for a private consultation. One call, one visit, one simple solution to regain your love life. Call Prime Men's Medical Center now at 904-206-8105. 904-206-8105. That's 904-206-8105.
Are you looking for a venue to celebrate your special occasion that guests can't stop talking about? Call Riverside North Special Events and Banquet Hall. We specialize in anniversaries, weddings, birthday parties, corporate meetings, family reunions, fundraisers, graduations, and funerals. This unique, all-inclusive, full-service venue is the way to go. Call us today at 354-4162 and let us book your next event. All proceeds from bookings benefit the Clara White Mission.
If you have been operating a small business but now need to grow and generate more revenue, SCORE can help you attract more customers. We offer free resources including mentoring, online webinars, and workshops. Since 1964, SCORE has helped more than 11 million entrepreneurs and small business owners. In Jacksonville, SCORE provides services to almost 6,000 individuals annually. Find out more about how SCORE can assist your business by visiting jacksonville.score.org.
Being a victim of medical malpractice can leave you feeling like you've lost control. I'm Eli Anajar from the law offices of Anajar & Levine. Medical mistakes happen more often than you think. Understanding your legal options following medical malpractice is important. If you think you've been the victim of medical malpractice, call the law offices of Anajar & Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville. It's happening, people. Our friends at Arlington Toyota are getting a brand new state-of-the-art showroom. And that means the old stuff is coming down, and so are Arlington's prices. I'm talking up to 50% less on remaining 2019s and even 2020 models. How about a 2019 Toyota 4Runner? It's not $31,755. Now it's only $26,991. That's $26,991 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota 4Runner at Arlington. How about a 2019 Toyota Camry? It's not $19,745. No. Now it's just $16,291. Just $16,291 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota Camry at Arlington. Plus, you get the Arlington Toyota $5,000 Advantage Club, which includes a lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles with your purchase. Construction is underway, and prices are coming down at Arlington Toyota. So get in today and pay up to 50% less on remaining 2019s and even 2020s. 10939 Atlantic Boulevard and online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/construction sale for offer details.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Austin Lane from Action Sports Jacks. Thanks for making ESPN690 the fastest-growing sports station in Jacksonville. It was a lot of fun playing for the Jacksonville Jaguars for 3 years, and I'm having just the same amount of fun on the radio every single day with ESPN690. So I'm reaching out to you to be part of our team and grow your business with ESPN690. Give us a holler at 245-8732. That's 245-8732. We look forward to hearing from you and hope you join the team.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
So say you lose Boye, Campbell, and Young. Who's essentially the leader now, especially on the defensive line? I mean, would it be Avery Jones, I guess, would be the leader? Is Josh Allen ready to be a captain and step up that leadership role?
Listen weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. ESPN690.com.
Now, back to Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 and in the TuneIn Radio app.
We're going to get more regular season weeks. We're going to get more postseason games, more wild card action. And what do the players get? An increase in their percent of the revenue. The NFL gets more games to sell, which equals more money. And basically, there's more money for everybody to go around.
Well, there you go. You too, Adam Schefter.
Oh, it's that easy. Sign me up for 19 games then.
And Adam Schefter has more work to do, most likely.
Oh, yeah. The guy stays busy during this time of year.
Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Coos here on a Thursday. And hey, the NFL gives a couple of storylines yesterday. Whoever leaked it or if it's trending, whatever it is, I don't know what to believe just yet. But a couple of different things. And one is 17 games versus 3 preseason games. Playoff expansion we just talked about. And, of course, the CBA, is it coming close? Could it be done in the next month? We kind of talked about that at the start of the show. I don't think – I would still say if I had to put a wager in-show betting here on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690, I would say no way. Mm-hmm. I'll roll the dice on my house that it doesn't get done by March 18th.
Yeah, and I'd come with you. I'd throw I don't throw a house on it. I'd I throw my tennis shoes on there, Brent.
Oh my God!
Really sweeten the deal a little bit.
I mean, at least autograph them.
They hold sentimental value to me. Okay,
they do.
Just because they're shoes doesn't mean I don't care a lot about them. So I'll go and add that to the deal. But yeah, once again, it's hard for me to believe that the owners and the players can just come to some sort of agreement without some kind of discussion, some kind of anger towards one another, just because, like I said before, I think the last time the CBA was agreed upon, I think the players kind of got shortchanged a little bit, and that's going to be fresh in their minds when they're doing it this time this year.
Crash says it's not teams making the playoffs at 7-9. 17-game schedule means teams 7-10 or 8-9 making it. You're right on the math there. But keep in mind, this rule could go into effect, at least from the reports, as soon as this year. That doesn't mean 17 games are happening. 17 games are not happening this year.
Yeah.
It's not. But this new playoff rule could go into effect right now, like this year. That's at least the buzz. And I also think the other thing you got to keep an eye on, at least the things that I was reading, and that is the 17 games, if it does happen, might not even go into effect the first year of the new CBA. It could take until 2022 or 23. I think I read somewhere that the latest would be 23 if that does get approved. So we still might be counting to 16 for a little bit is my point, and getting 14 teams in the postseason. And that brings us to the next part of this. I'll read one more comment, by the way. Josh says, more playoff games? I don't like it. One of the things that makes the NFL special is that all of the games matter. I feel like this gets diminished when you add games and more playoff teams. It's kind of the old college football argument that some of the games, like, they all matter, and now because you were only crowning one, or you had a BCS playoff, but now that you have 4, or if you bring 6 in the fold or 8 in the fold. Here's what I think about that. I think the games still matter a whole heck of a lot for positioning, for momentum, for anything else. I just don't – you can't show me, again, in the NBA, in Major League Baseball, in even the NFL, that adding things has watered down the competition. Has watered down the drama, the end of the year. Like, we're going to get – okay, we know this in the NBA. We know that there are 8 teams from each conference.
Correct.
We know that there are really like 5 really good teams, I think, in the West, if I'm adding them up right.
Yeah.
And there might be 2 or 3 in the East.
Sure.
But you know what's still intriguing, and we still find intriguing in places like Orlando, and maybe it's Charlotte or New Orleans or wherever else. It still matters to get that 8th spot for the postseason and get in. And we also know there will be 3 teams at least that will battle for that 8th spot all the way down the end of the season. So that's my point. Yeah, and you know what? They might have losing records.
But how much hype's going to be built up around that 1 versus 8 seed, though, Brent? Well, like, yeah, in Orlando, if it was Orlando, people in Orlando would be excited. They'd be, celebrating. Right. But then,
and the people in Orlando haven't been excited in a long time. Is my point.
But my point is from a global standpoint. At least from a standpoint in this country. How long people would turn in to watch the 1 versus 8 seed of an NBA Finals? Like, how many people would be watching it closely? Probably not.
They don't, but they would more in the NFL because we know it's a 1-game thing. And we also know the parity in the NFL between 7 and 9 and even an 11 and 5 team is not that much. I mean, we can bring you back to it. The Jags aren't a great example this year because they really didn't beat anybody with a winning record, but even the New Orleans game. On paper, New Orleans was way better and really still good with Bridgewater, even though they didn't have Breeze. And that was a close game. I mean, Jags could have won that game. They were in it. So I think that's where the football is even less of an example of watering it down or all games matter. No, I think it still matters. And I do think maybe more than NBA, maybe more than MLB, maybe more than NHL. Home field advantage, although that's seeming to lose its touch a little bit in the NFL too, it still matters probably in the NFL more than any other league to have home field advantage. Just ask the Kansas City Chiefs, the Seattle Seahawks, and I still think at the end of the day we could argue that if the Jaguars played that Houston game here instead of London, it might have been a different result. So from a home field advantage, you can make the argument in the NFL, maybe even more so than any other sport. So I don't think it dilutes the product. I really don't. But I get the argument. I just don't think there's evidence of it. It's a great argument to have, but show me the evidence. And I don't believe there really has been a lot of evidence. And more times than not, and that's why these guys go this way, yes, money is a huge player in it, but interest is a big player in it too, and interest creates dollars. And expansion has worked in postseason in a lot of other sports. I'll say this one other thing. I was thinking of this today. I don't know if it's as relative or not, but kids nowadays grow up in, whether they're playing high school ball and it's the district tournament or whatever, or they're playing travel ball and on a weekend and there's 16 teams in it. Well, everybody gets thrown in the bracket at the end of the day. People are used to everybody gets thrown in the bracket and everybody has a chance. And what's the best bracket that we have in sports?
NCAA tournament.
And you know what? That 64th team has no chance to beat the number 1 team. We know that going in. Yet we still love the idea that 16 team playing that 1 team because maybe there's a sliver of hope. And, well, a couple years ago, it finally happened.
Yeah.
Right? So we love that's like the ultimate bracket. And there's more teams in that bracket than in any bracket.
Yeah.
So that's my proof of, I don't think, although that's a talking point about more teams and does it water it down, I don't think there's evidence that is real. I think it's just a narrative sometimes that exists with the opposition of things like this.
I see what you're saying. Once again, though, I just want to see a team with a losing record get in the playoffs. That's my only gripe.
That does ruffle some people.
That's my only gripe.
All right, but the other gripe is 17 games. Leonard Fournette tweeted out today, I'm not in favor of 17 games. Find me a running back that is.
Really, find me anybody that is.
Yeah, well, listen, some players have said. Some players have
Punters?
No. I wish I did.
Logan Cook on Twitter going crazy right now? Saying bring it on?
Somebody recently, and now I forget who exactly it is, so this isn't going to be great to bring it up. But somebody just said, it was in the last month or so. Maybe it was down Super Bowl week.
Okay.
And I think
Allen
it came.
Robinson? Did he? No, he talked about London.
He talked about London. No, it wasn't to us. It was just a report that, hey, give me more of the spring off. Give me like some OTAs off, and I'll sign up and play 17 games right now. I remember that quote. And unfortunately, I don't remember who said it.
Okay.
But my point is, yes, every running back is not going to like it.
I think a lot of players aren't going to like it, Brent.
I think at the face of it, players don't like it. But if in return, again, you're getting some things like medical marijuana, you're getting less padded practices, which is rumored to be part of this new one as well.
Or one of my ideas, the franchise tag. Because the biggest gripe with the franchise tag is the fact that players don't get a long-term deal. And if you're the players union, you could argue, well, if you add an extra game, that's more risk of players getting hurt, more players missing out on money if they get hurt. So from that perspective, if they were to alternate the franchise tag a little bit and maybe kind of have some kind of stipulations in there a little bit, then I can see that as well.
This is an interesting tweet from Adam Schefter, and I've wondered this. There are now multiple NFL teams waiting to make roster moves based on the potential of a new CBA.
Because the franchise tag.
If a new CBA is approved in the days to come, a flurry of roster moves will follow.
Because the franchise tag, right? Is that what we're on?
No, well, you just brought up the franchise tag. I'm bringing up the general nature. Franchise tag's coming up, but also free agency.
No, I get what you're saying, but is Schefter getting towards the point of where they don't know if the franchise tag will be implemented or not, so teams are waiting to make their moves because they don't know?
He doesn't say that specifically.
Okay,
and I've read up on the new CBA, and I don't see franchise tag mentioned too often in it. Maybe you have in some of the readings, but the readings that I haven't seen that.
Okay.
So I don't know where that is on the table.
Sure.
Like, I understand your idea about it. I just don't know if that's a huge sticking point on the table or not. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, I can't tell you the truth either. I know players are super passionate about it, so
I get it, and you're right about that. They are, but I don't. It's always I've heard 17 games in 3 games. I've heard more money, 48%, 49%. I've heard more playoff expansion. I've heard medical marijuana. I don't know how far down I have to get to the list to see franchise tag.
I got you.
And again, maybe I'm not reading the right stuff, but I don't know. But this is interesting part of what Adam Schefter just said. And it also does, is that a tweet given to him by whoever was pushing this out that it might be coming to a close in terms of an agreement? Or is this more reality that maybe we are getting close to a CBA? A tweet like that from Adam Schefter. And how could it impact decisions that are made right now? I got a thought on it next on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Family is big around here. We're family-owned, family-operated, family-managed. And that means legacy. That means dependability. That means using Grainger. With over 1.5 million products and knowledgeable product experts, Grainger has whatever we need. And with same-day pickup and next-day delivery options, they have it whenever we need it. For over 90 years, businesses like ours have trusted Grainger. Because, like family, Grainger's got our back. Call, click Grainger.com, or stop by to see for yourself. Grainger, for the ones who get it.
Tax problems can be extremely stressful and cause financial devastation. The tax attorneys at J. David Tax Law are right here in Jacksonville to be your personal advocate and resolve your IRS or state sales tax issues. J. David Tax Law focuses on your needs and case outcomes. Don't be fooled by these big out-of-town tax companies that only focus on getting you to sign up and pay without even working with an attorney. At J. David Tax Law, only highly experienced tax attorneys will represent you. Get the help you need with tax debt, payroll taxes, bank levies, wage garnishments, tax liens, and unfiled returns. If you have federal or state sales tax debt, have a sit-down with J. David Tax Law. Your first step is a no-cost consultation. Call J. David Tax Law at 904-507-4777, 904-507-4777. Peace of mind only a click or phone call away, 904-507-4777, or go to jdavidtaxlaw.com.
It's time for some straight talk. You know what a full court press is in basketball, right? Full defensive coverage with no holes. Well, that's the kind of coverage you get with Straight Talk Wireless. It runs on America's best 4G LTE networks, same as the big carriers, but just for a lot less. Just $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G, saving you up to half the cost of the big carriers. No contract. Full court coverage, half the cost. Straight Talk Wireless. Everything for less. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
There's never been a better time to be a doer. Not with the Home Depot in your corner. And new digital tools on our Home Depot app, like image search. Snap a picture with our app, find just what you need. And our product locator will not only tell you how many we've got, it'll lead you right to them in the store. Oh, and if you can't make it to the store, we can deliver. From time-saving tools to game-changing innovations, it's a good time to be a doer at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Not sure which fitness classes at which venues are right for you? For one day only, Planet Fitness is bringing their judgment-free zone to the Morocco Shrine Center for the Jack's Health and Fitness Expo this Saturday, February 22nd, for you to try some different classes and speak to fitness pros. Then, try a free smoothie sample from Smoothie King while checking out vendors with advice in health and fitness, ways to get the kids outside, and even some looks into your financial health. All in one place, the Jack's Health and Fitness Expo. Learn more at jackshealth2020.com.
32 NFL owners meeting today in New York City on the current CBA proposal. Some of the major changes it includes 17 regular season games and expanded playoffs with 14 teams. Making more of the regular season matter would be a positive, certainly, according to ESPN's Marcus Spears.
I like the fact that the league is creating more of a playoff atmosphere. We all know once the NFL gets to this second part of the season, how exciting it is for fans and people that are watching the game. And managing to do that without adding an extra playoff game, but also incentivizing teams to be the first round bye.
Owners could vote today. Player reps and the PA Executive Council discuss the plan tomorrow. Baseball, Yankees righty Luis Severino, forearm soreness, shut down for at least a few days. Skipper Aaron Boone acknowledged the injuries a concern. Severino out most of last season with rotator cuff inflammation and a lat strain. NBA, the Blazers' Dame Lillard won't play tomorrow against the Pelicans on ESPN TV with a groin strain. Told reporters he could miss 3 to 4 games.
Straight Talk Wireless has the full court cell phone coverage you need. Get the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G for just $45 a month, saving you up to half the cost of big carriers. Everything for less. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
You like money. I suggest you get your voice looked at.
It's allergy season.
It seems to be always allergy season, Stugatz.
That's because it is. The Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugatz on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anna Jar and Levine studios. Anna Jar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
The fight that Major League Baseball would have to wage is not worth it. Now, Rob Manfred has said that he is not going to consider taking away the title from the Astros. But if you strip the 2017 championship, I think that satisfies a lot of people. Now, are you going to do it to satisfy the bloodlust of fans and of players who are out there complaining about this?
That's Jeff Passan, ESPN baseball reporter. By the way, I've read some of his stuff. Fantastic writer. And he's good. Obviously got some inside info. And just sometimes you forget these guys are writers.
Yeah,
right
for
over
sure. Yeah, I had a burp, sorry. Well, don't put me on the spot like that. I won't tell you what's going on.
I mean, you need why don't we have cough buttons over here?
You do.
We do?
Well, you can turn it on and off.
Yeah, you can just turn it on and off.
Oh, the mute button?
No, just hit off.
The mute button is the cough button, too, yeah.
Oh, look at that. I like that. I had no idea.
14 months.
There was a joke that Nick made to me, I believe, right when we started, because I turned on the mics, and he said, because you did that the very first time, you're going to have to do that for every show, every time you turn the mic on.
And you have.
And you have. Yeah, I had no idea I could do it myself.
Well, I kind of feel like you do that because it might be like an all-in thing. Like, I didn't know if they were all set up so like you could turn them all on at the same time.
I've told when Bachman comes up, because I never know when he's going to jump in the conversation sometimes, so I'll just pot him up, and I told him he can turn it on whenever.
Pot him up. I like that.
Like I do turn mine off to cough sometimes, whatever. But there are a lot of places, studios, whatever, right? That actually have like a little cough button.
It's called cough. I'm pretty sure it's the mute button on this.
Okay, because I need to cough a lot, or you need to burp.
Can you hear me right now? No, you can't. The mute button works,
folks. You guys are around for the whole ride.
Oh,
we appreciate you.
Yeah, we are so transparent.
Listen, ESPN 690, just trying to figure it out.
Just trying to figure it out.
It's still happening.
Yeah,
mean,
absolutely.
we appreciate you hanging around with us.
Grow with us, This is a family ordeal here.
This is not just a sales pitch.
No.
This is a listener pitch.
Yes. Yes.
Be a part of it.
Yep.
That's so funny. But it is true. It's not like we had a tutorial on all these things. It was like, yeah, put that button out. Yeah, that does this. Okay,
no
good.
one told me how to do anything. Okay? And I've never done this before. So I don't want to hear it to say, I don't know if you can turn off the microphone or not. I had no idea. Sorry, guys.
You just said don't swear.
Yeah, you said don't swear, and then that's about it.
And then that's why all the time when we get the national guys on, we're like, hey, give us some advice.
Yeah, exactly. Because literally I need it. Because
no
one's teaching me anything here. Okay, I'm just talking. I'm
so
kidding.
Funny.
No, I'm learning a lot.
This is an organic experience.
Yeah, and sometimes those make the best shows, Brent. Yes. Nothing wrong going off the rails every once in a while.
Nope, not at all. It's raw.
Yeah,
it's genuine.
Uncut.
People like that these days.
Yeah, people like that in the radio show, and also they're like they're Jack 3D, like I was taking back in the day for supplements.
That's
raw,
right.
Unfiltered, uncut,
torn hamstring.
Yeah.
Speaking of torn up, how about Antonio Brown? You just showed me the video. This dude, he can't win life at all right now.
Yeah,
he got hit in the head by
I don't know what was going on. Like, he was bench pressing, obviously trying to show off his physique. His shirt was off. Little aggressive, in the weight room, but I get it. And then somebody was Facebook Living it, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, here comes like a bar, just falls and hits him right in the head. And then obviously they cut off the video.
If you have a problem with the shirtless workouts, H.J. Scott on our stream told us to look at Cam Newton's Instagram because apparently he's posting some cryptic stuff. Hey, black and white, pretty much naked workouts, the whole Instagram account.
No way. Is he wearing shorts or just wearing like the
compression
brief?
Boxers?
Yeah. Come on, man. Let's be. Come on. There has to be some kind of etiquette. You know what I'm saying? This isn't like. I don't know, man. You're not at home.
I understand fashion.
Well, he might be. I don't know.
Right?
Oh, maybe if he's at home, then yes. Dude,
but it's like working
I'll do it
out.
naked. If I'm at home, I'll be naked. I don't care.
I understand fashion has become a thing for athletes. I kind of say it's weird how it's become such a thing. Like, listen, somebody would be like, well, Joe Namath used to wear the mink coat, right?
Yeah.
Or fur coat.
There's Cam Newton.
Yeah.
use less slashes through your letters. What kind of font is he using?
I don't know. That's an Instagram thing that you wouldn't know about, but like using a new font's like a thing.
If we had like a bracket of who's gone off the rails more in fashion, like
Russell Westbrook,
That'd be a March Madness bracket.
I was going to say though, Cam Newton or Russell Westbrook.
Oh man, who's the number one seed?
See, when I think of like weird, like the first thing I think of is like Cam when he had the weird hat on too.
Yeah. See, I think Cam's worse than Russell Westbrook because, like, in the NBA, I get it because I think NBA is more derived off of, music and culture and things like that. The NFL is more of just, like, the toxic masculinity stuff. And then Cam Newton comes rocking, like, a Thelma and Louise, like, little scarf around his neck. Not hating on it. Kind of am. But actually, I really am. Kind of drove – yeah. So I would say Cam Newton's the top seed, Brent.
How about this? Wait a minute. Is this real? Adam Schefter is like tweeting. Here is the memo that the NFL has accepted the terms of the new proposed CBA.
Are you kidding me? Wow.
Now this is. Let's read this.
Breaking news. Let's get some.
Do we need some music? Let me make sure this is really Adam Schefter.
The first time we're gonna get trolled.
Nope. 7.7 million followers. I think that's him.
Dang.
Just a shade under me. All right, here we go. NFL statement. Following more than 10 months of intensive and thorough negotiations, the NFL players and clubs have jointly developed a comprehensive set of new and revised terms that will transform the future of the game, provide for players past, present, and future, both on and off the field.
Now I'm involved. Now I'm listening.
Yeah,
okay.
Past and present.
I'm back.
Had to have it more than 8 career sacks.
Hey, so close to giving a middle finger on live Periscope right now.
We're allowed to do that.
How many career sacks do you have? I should know that. I should use that in the back pocket all the time.
Well, it wasn't 8. Okay, anyways, go on. It wasn't 8.
And ensure that the NFL's second century is even better and more exciting for the fans. The membership voted today to accept the negotiated terms on the principal elements of a new collective bargaining agreement. The Players Association would also need to vote to approve the same terms for there to be a new agreement. Since the clubs and players need to have a system in place and know the rules that they will operate under by next week, the membership also approved moving forward under the final year of the 2011 CBA if the players decide not to approve the negotiated terms. Out of respect for the process and our partners of the NFLPA, we have no further comment at this time. It's interesting
this
breaking news music.
Legit.
I'm not sure if
I'm
not sure if the
dude, I'm flowing.
The news consultants would go for that music.
I'm in it.
So here's the deal. So the NFL says we've got our side figured out.
Yeah.
And now it's the other side, which is good. For a moment there, as I'm reading this, I thought I lost my house.
Yeah.
So now what has to happen in the next few weeks? Or they said next week? They didn't say next week.
I don't know. I was lost at past players because then I try to figure out the fine print.
Since the clubs and players need to have a system in place and know the rules that they will operate under by next week, the membership also approved moving forward just in case it.
So
why
essentially,
next week?
I have no idea. So this essentially is the NFL trying to put the players' union all in, right? This is what I'm gauging.
Yeah, I mean, again, they are saying, so to our point, the narrative has come from the NFL side to say, hey, we've reached this.
What does that sign say up there with my air bubble?
Good luck with that.
Okay, we'll see, I guess. I mean, yeah, it's cool that the owners agree on everything, and they've, kind of struck up their deal. But the players' union still has to agree with that. And I think it's very rare in any kind of negotiations where someone comes forward with the proposal and the other party, the opposite party, the coinciding party is just going to be like, oh, yeah, cool, sounds good. I think there's going to be a little more weight, but we'll see, I guess.
Yeah, well, so Schefter just tweeted that out, and that's the memo that came out. I must have missed the memo. They didn't send it to me. But it's interesting on a couple fronts. I think you're right. First of all, this is a negotiation. But why play the negotiation out in the public? Is it to squeeze the players already? Already? We're a long way away from really having to squeeze anybody on this. So it feels like an early squeeze. Or is there confidence? Because, again, there could be confidence that, hey, a lot of the things that the players asked, maybe the owners did sign off for in this. Again,
we don't know that.
If you read some of the things that come out the last 24 hours and some of the national guys, Schefter included, that have put out there there are things that say, hey, 1%, maybe even 1.5% more in dollars go into the players. There are some things that say take care of the players all the way back to 1993, but pre-1993 as well.
Yeah.
There are better benefits back in the day and going forward. So some of those things that have been talking points, the marijuana, I think they are loosening punishment restrictions on marijuana. I don't know where that means for medical marijuana, but again, just some of the things that have trickled in some of the reports and readings that I've done, at least in the last 24 hours. So maybe the owners said, hey, we give in on that. We give in on that. We give on that, but we want this and this. And now it's time for the players to say, okay, we are standing firm on, say, 17 games.
Well,
because that, to me, seems like it's going to be the biggest sticking point.
I'll tell you what, it's not on my NFLPA app yet, so I'm not buying it until I get that coming through the pipeline.
And will you get updates on that?
I don't know. Probably not. I'd hope so. I mean, they said past players too. So
well, I think your stuff though. This is when we're talking about past players. I think in this writing, I think they are talking about pre-93 mostly.
Sure.
Because you already are. You've got a decent. Like the players that played since 93 do okay, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a big beef. Everybody wants more of everything, but you guys that have played from a benefit standpoint, I mean, you got the free YMCA membership.
Dude, I mean, hey, what more do you really need at the end of the day?
Absolutely.
Shout out to YMCA. Cutting the commercial right now.
But do you think part of that last CBA, as players that maybe retired in the last decade or two, you think mostly are pretty happy with the way things are?
Absolutely, yeah.
So this is more reference to the older guys.
This is more the older generations and things like that. Now, maybe you could up the HRA, kind of like I guess, to put the HRA plainly, if you have a medical injury or if you have a medical thing, you have to get surgery or something like that. Usually that's out of pocket, depending if the insurance covers it. So maybe you change the language a little bit of how much of the HRA you can get, and then spend a little more money, for your health and things like that. But I think overall, with where I'm sitting from my class and the classes before me, we're sitting pretty good.
Yeah. And that's interesting. Just also tweeted, said NFL owners were not unanimous in the approval of the proposed CBA. Per source, not every owner voted for it. Which means that, if you're not unanimous, now again, they can say whatever they want to say. And they might want to make it seem like that. Like, hey, there was some hedging going on here, and we're talking them into it, and we're giving it to the players.
Kicking and screaming.
I mean, it's an interesting play from the owner's side of things to put
optics,
it out in public
Brent.
like this. Absolutely.
It's absolutely
But like
optics.
I said, because the owners know this. We said this at the top of the show. It's very difficult win perception-wise for players. Because, again, fans don't relate to a guy making $30 million. They're like, screw you, dude. You're making $30 million. I mean, we don't see what the owner's making and is worth $2.2 billion. It just doesn't matter to the fan. It matters more that the player's making $30 million and he's griping about something.
Well, and what's going to happen
And then,
here?
by the way, the fan also thinks that everybody makes millions. And that's not the case. My feeling on this for the players.
Yeah. Hey, I wish.
My feeling on this for the players has long been, take care of those guys on the bottom end.
Yeah.
Take care of those guys that are making the minimum, which is $450,000, or whatever it is, $480. Sounds great.
Yeah.
And it's a good amount of money. If you're about to make that for the next 12 years, you might make it for 6 months and put your body on the line for that. Or you might make it for 2 years. That's false security for a young person to think, hey, wow, my gosh, I'm making $450,000. Well, you made it for 18 months. See how long that will get you to 70 years old.
Yeah, no, I agree. And once again, Brent, this is all about optics, okay? Because what are we doing right now? We're getting hyped up because, wow, the CBA might be actually done beforehand. This is unheard of. There's going to be football. There's going to be no work stoppage. Fantastic. Football is back. And we're all celebrating it, and fans are celebrating it. But then what's going to happen when this new agreement goes to the players' union? They read it, and they're like, oh, man, there's some stuff on here that we don't agree with. Absolutely no deal. Well, it's going to make the players look bad. Then it's going to be, the players couldn't agree on it. All the owners came together for the most part and agreed on stuff.
Those
Why
greedy
can't
guys.
the players? Exactly. So, listen.
It's a tough spot for the players. It really is.
Is the CBA going to get done in the next week or so? I would say probably not.
Good, because I put my house on it.
Exactly. Brent's got his house. I got my pair of shoes on it too, Brent. All right. We're both at stake here. All right. There's a lot on the line for both of us. But I just think right now it's a power play by the NFL and the owners to try to make the players look bad.
One last thing. We're bringing John Bachman in a moment here, chief negotiator. But Schefter did tweet out, and I'm all over Schefter today. Thanks for providing show material, Adam. We appreciate it.
Yep.
Hope you're listening on Sports Shacks on ESPN690. But Schefter said something that's interesting to me. He said, some teams are waiting to make roster moves. Now, keep in mind, you don't have to make roster moves right now. The league year Doesn't happen for a bit. Hey, you got some decisions coming up in March, and then the league year starts March 18th. But some teams have already released players in the last week or so. I don't even think the Jags are close to doing that yet, at least from everything I can gather. There's still plenty of time to make those decisions. But Schefter tweets out, said some people are waiting to see if this CBA gets approved before they were to make some roster moves. And I'm trying to figure out why that would be. Because most likely a new CBA.
I said it, man. I told you what it was.
Well, a new CBA, jump in on that in a moment. But in my thought, the new CBA would go into effect in 2021. So how would it affect, like, the cap going up or things like that, which is really the only thing I can really relate it to, is say, okay, if the cap's projected to be 201 million, but now with a new CBA, it might be 215 million because there's more money for players. Well, that probably isn't happening this year anyway. So why would you be waiting?
I believe, like I said, it has to do with the franchise tag and whether teams can franchise tag a guy or not.
But again, that wouldn't even go in probably until 2021, I would think.
But let's be fair, though. Like, that has a lot to do with it even 2 years down the line, Brent. Because, let's be honest. Because, like, if you're trying to negotiate a contract,
that's a good point.
If a guy's got maybe 1 year left, 2 years left, then all right, well, in a couple years, the franchise tag will be there. We'll franchise tag him and work it out. But if it's not there, then all of a sudden you have to make haste a little more and you got to get these deals done, I think at least.
No, that's a very good point. It might not have to do with 2020 decisions as much as where do you see that guy on your team in 2021, 22. Very good point. Okay, that's fair. And I will say this. I have asked some people in the league, and I can't really get a clear-cut answer. You can argue both sides of it. But I've asked, if I was a player like Yannick Ngakoue, and I'm his agent, and really think of both sides. Okay, you're Yannick Ngakoue and the agent. Pay Jan. Good luck with that.
John, you my agent?
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
John I would love to be his agent.
By the way, nice job putting your own mic on. That was very good.
I'm a veteran.
We had that discussion a little earlier. That's why. It was a little inside joke. But so Bachman's your agent.
Bachman Billions, baby.
That's right.
You're Jan.
Yes.
I'm the team. I love always having to play the team.
Yeah.
I'm the shill, corporate shill of the team.
It's a lot better you than me. All right.
And so if I'm on your side of it, I'm thinking, okay, do I want a new deal before the new CBA goes into effect because there might be more money for me on the other side of the rainbow?
No, we're dragging our feet.
Yeah.
But if I'm on this side, do I want to get it done right now or wait because, again, there's more money to play with on that side? You know, so I asked, basically my question was to some folks in the league in the last few weeks, was like, if I am a player, is it better to do it on this side or on that side? And I got mixed reviews on it. I really did. Nobody was very like, oh, yeah, wait, definitely. Like you guys just said, yeah, wait. Well, the problem with waiting is you risk injury and all those other things. So you still have to play this year, you know, assuming that new CBA doesn't go into effect until 2021.
Yeah.
So
but you might
risking.
but you might still have that CBA. As to Austin's point, you may have the agreement done. Jan's point, excuse me, Jan's point.
You're right.
That deal may be done sooner than later. In which case, you know the horizon, the landscape that you're going into, which would be very helpful in negotiations, I would think.
Yeah, I think it's helpful in negotiations, but I think you could still argue the point that if I'm Jan or any player and you're going to offer me $60 million guaranteed in 2020 rather than, okay, I might get 65 guaranteed in 2021, okay, I'm going to make sure I get it now so I don't give him a year of evidence that might suggest I shouldn't get 65. You know what
I'm saying? No, but what I'm saying is you're going to know, I think to Jan's point, Austin's point, is that you're going to know before you sign the current deal what you're dealing with down the road. So in other words, I'm not signing for $60 million guaranteed when I know I can get $65 million. I'm signing for $65 or $70 million, knowing what's coming. That's the point.
Well, then you're not getting a deal done though with me because I don't have those dollars available until next year.
Yeah, right.
Is my point for the teams.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you could sign a deal now that gets you X now and Y then. I mean, that you could negotiate that part of the deal.
Fair enough.
If you're signing a long-term deal, you could have whatever it is that you can agree upon for the year one, but year 2, 3, 4, and 5, or whatever the deal might be, has a much higher ceiling after this new
That's
deal
fair.
comes about.
I get what you're saying.
So you're not going to sign a 4-year deal when you know the last 3 years you could have gotten a better deal.
That's why you're my agent.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, but there's one caveat to this. I put my house on the line already that the deal isn't done.
Yeah,
by
and that
next
could not
week.
happen. You're right. And to your point, then you're playing with your own house money at that point.
So then,
Absolutely.
again, I guess that's what I'm trying to
But
get
you're not gonna-
across, is that if a deal isn't done by the league year in next week, next month, then it's been very 50-50 on what is more beneficial to the player and team to go and get your money now or get it later. That's what I guess I'm trying to say, which is interesting to me.
But I think
you would
both-
think it would be more of a collective, oh, yeah, you should definitely do it now versus you should definitely do it.
Because
It
I
seems
think
more than an either-or situation.
See, to me, and listen, all I do is I get sacks and I play the run pretty dang well. Okay,
That's right, Jan. You do that very well.
I appreciate it. By the way, if that would have signed me last year, when we had this
We
conversation,
wouldn't have this conversation.
Right now, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's right. Give the man his money when he wanted it. That's it. That's it.
Hey, but it is what it is. We're here right now.
We're here now. So you're going to overpay.
Hold on, wait a minute.
You're going to overpay.
Tom Coughlin just called in. Coughlin just called in and said, hey, he's still got a lot to prove.
but no, Brent, I think, listen, if you're the ownership or if you're the front office, you want to know all your details. You want to cover all your bases, and you want to know the landscape of things. To offer somebody the contract before the new CBA, it's risky because you don't know what the landscape's going to be. So I think people that have the most money, people that call the shots, they want to know exactly what they're getting into, and that's why they're trying to wait until this whole thing clears out.
Let me add one more element to it.
Sure.
Okay, for a long time here, up until really the last couple of weeks and maybe even a couple of days, and who knows if they're right with the narrative, there was a narrative out there we could have a prolonged work stoppage. So if I told you that we were going to have a half a year, maybe even longer. I mean, wasn't NFLPA, DeMaurice Smith said, hey, if they want to get what they want to get, they got to hold out for 2 years.
Correct.
If there was word that, hey, there's a realistic chance of a work stoppage, then how does it change things? How does it say, okay, Jan, you want to wait? You might have to wait a year and a half, 2 years to get your money.
What's up, John?
Or do you want to go? You want to get this thing done before and again, I don't know the right answers.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm interested that there isn't a right answer to that. There seems like in this kind of situation there would be a right answer.
I think that there's not a right answer, but I think waiting would also be kind of from the standpoint of betting on yourself. Now, there's but there's a lot more of just betting on yourself. You have to trust the process at the same time. But I think, from my perspective, and correct me if I'm wrong, Agent Bachman, but I think we would wait and let the process play out. Because once again, you know how I do it. I bet on myself, and that's why I'm with you, because you believe in me.
Aces.
But
no,
aces,
that's exactly right. I mean, I think, and I think that's probably the case for both parties. I mean, really.
Here's what I think. You tell me if I'm nuts.
Okay.
Here I'm talking to you, Jan, right here. Is it in Jan's best interest to hope, given the fact that a deal isn't done with CBA, to hope the Jaguars franchise him this year, play under the franchise of $19 million, $18 million, whatever it is. Therefore, he's getting paid.
Correct.
Right? The most money he's ever been paid. He's got a decent amount in the bank, which is nice. But then he negotiates his deal under the new CBA. Is that your most bang for your buck?
It's the most bang for our buck, but once again, Bignani Kangakwa, you have to ask if you want to actually go through with the franchise tag. I mean, that's the biggest thing.
That's right. That's what I'm turning around and saying, is it favorable to a player in Jan's situation because the CBA is on the horizon?
Well, to be fair, yeah, I mean, it looks good on paper, but once again, Brent, injuries happen. I hurt my hamstring this past season. I still gutted it out. I still played the run pretty well. I was still getting my sacks.
You played the run very well.
Thank you very much.
That's why he's Bachman Billions, not Billions.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I was teaching Josh Allen a couple things, too, while we're at it. I was teaching
mentoring.
I was teaching
you handle your business. You handled your business.
Exactly. So from that perspective, yes, Brent, obviously I can make money with the franchise tag, but once again, it's about the loyalty. It's about that long-term deal, and for me to be taken care of.
Yeah, I get it. I'm just telling you. I'm saying if I'm an outside party.
But here's the deal.
This might be a better situation for Jan in reality to get franchise tagged, play for the 1 year, guaranteed the $18-19 million, and then go negotiate a new deal for more money than he would have ever made, even if he takes into account that a new CBA might be happening.
And keep in mind, too, if they raise the price of the franchise tag. I mean, we don't know what the franchise tag is going to be. We have no idea how it's going to play.
Might be the last one to play on.
We don't know what it's going to be yet. Exactly.
Well, that was going to be my question, because then we're talking about the possibility of guaranteed contracts. I mean, there's a lot of things that could be asked for in this deal.
In the new deal. And to your point, say the franchise tag did go away, which, again, I don't believe it is, but just let's say it is. Well, then you would have all the leverage next year. Right? I mean, right now your only leverage is to sit out and not play under this one.
And then you'd
but
eat,
next
and
year,
then
with
you'd
no
eat that
franchise
money.
tag available under a new CBA.
You're a
you'd
free
have all the
agent.
leverage.
You're a free agent suddenly.
So, again, I'm making the case, and I might be just bonkers and not making the case the right way.
Yeah.
But I'm talking myself into that I might be right.
Yeah.
That Jan's best case scenario might be to play on a franchise tag. Wait for the new CBA to become available, and he might make more money doing it that way than if he were to sign right now this year for a long-term deal.
But you make the mistake of thinking it's all about the money, Brent. Because it's not all about the money. It looks great on paper once again, but there's definitely a loyalty factor involved.
But I've shifted.
Now, as your agent, I'd like to interject here for a second.
Hey. What's your next words? Because we'll go to ESPN Carolina or ESPN New York right now. We're out here, John. Let's go. I don't need this.
New chapter. I have changed my role from the Jags corporate chill to now just random third-party financial advisor. And said, you should care about the money. Principal,
I'm going to advise you to tell you it's very much all about the money. Show me the money.
Anyway, listen, I think the bottom line here is it's a fascinating conversation from players that are up and might be under the franchise tag or might be in free agency and where it does go. And I wonder some of their representation. Again, everybody's situation's different.
But Brent, if he's under the franchise tag for this year, the CBA is for the following year. How does that impact? I guess I don't understand, because he's going to either way. This won't be impacting this particular year. So that's my point. I mean,
say Jan wasn't stuck on the principal part of it and everything else.
Yeah.
But just to say the Jags were to give him right now, offer him a 5-year deal for $110 million. It's $22 million a year. Okay, let's just say.
Hey, John.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
Yeah.
But next year, because of the more money available, the market would say that he'll get 5 years, $120 million. Okay? So it's $10 more million. Plus the guaranteed money, because we have more room and space, is going to be another $8 million guaranteed. Okay? Just come with, I have no idea. I'm making these numbers up.
Right.
But my point being, so I can make 5 years, 120 next year, and I'm making 18 or 19 this year anyway on a franchise tag. Well, my point is you're getting more money and more guaranteed money in the whole thing by franchise tagging and then signing the deal under the new CBA.
Correct.
And I just think if, again, take principle and all the other garbage
my
now. That's
injuries too, though, Brent.
But
Injuries are big.
Well, then you have to decide that. Is it 5 years, 110? For the total value, I can give you $140 million over 6 years.
I guess
or
my
I can give you
point,
$110 million over 5 years. You got to gamble on that for one more year.
But my point is, it's kind of a moot argument, because the thought is that you're going to know going in.
No, you're not, though. Well, it might be the current thought.
Right.
That is new in the last 24 hours.
Your house bet says that it's not, is what you're saying.
That's new in the last 24 hours, John. That people now, all of a sudden, we might have this thing resolved.
Fair enough. Yeah. You're saying we still bet. By the deadline is you're not going to know if you're Jan. And so if you're Jan, then you'd have to make a decision on this year prior to the CBA being done.
Yeah. Now, again, you could sit there and say for Jan, again, from a financial standpoint, you'd say, well, if I'm getting, say, $60 million guaranteed, give me that $60 million now, and as I'm investing that, even if we don't play next year, I'm still got my $60 million that's being invested a year earlier, maybe a year and a half earlier than it would have been next year. So there's all those things that go into it as well. I mean, I'm really talking a lot of economics. But
By
I
the
just
way,
think
the market might not be very good in the next year.
That's true. I mean, the trend would say probably not.
Right.
Murphy's Law would say probably not. But it's just an interesting part of it for some, like where everybody looks at the franchise tag as a bad thing for Jan right now. A bow up to that. I'm just saying it might not be in the long term the worst thing for a guy like Yannick Ngakoue.
But once again, though, you speak about the long term, like injuries aren't a real thing, okay? And I understand there's the risk there, and it's almost the risk of me, if I'm Yannick Ngakoue, me believing in myself again. But I think that if it was up to me, and no offense to my agent John Bachman here, but if I was to take a pay cut to get a guaranteed contract, I would absolutely do that because I'd rather have the guaranteed money for the next 4 or 5 years as opposed to just having that franchise tag and make an extra maybe $8, $9, $10 million. Because
exactly right.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, if I get hurt, that's game over. Man.
I'm still going to be shocked, though. Would you be shocked if these under the new CBA these contracts are guaranteed?
I'd be absolutely, for sure. Shocked. Yes.
Yeah. I don't think we're getting to that point. I just don't believe
Really?
so. I think there's going to be more money.
I don't think so.
I think it's going to be more money, John. So I think more money means more guaranteed money up front.
Correct.
For everybody who's signing contracts. Everybody.
Yeah.
Even,
Yeah. 'Cause right now
a
it's just-
2-year deal
right now
worth
it's
$8
just
million,
quarterbacks,
you
but
might
yeah.
get more money. But I just don't see it in this business. I
But
just don't
maybe-
know if I just don't know if we're with the amount of dollars are out there. Like they're not guaranteeing full contracts like Major League Baseball and NBA. They're
maybe
not doing
full,
it.
but a percentage possibly.
And maybe a percentage goes up. I don't know. Again, it depends what you
well-
read on this, and we don't know all the ins and outs of this
No.
deal.
Yeah.
But
well, the longer the delay, the more of the guarantee they're fighting for, right? I mean,
Yeah.
because that's going to be.
On face value right now, I would say the thing they're fighting for. See, I think they're going to get the marijuana loosened up. I think they're going to get the medical marijuana stuff. I think they're going to get a lot of those
That- a
things.
lot of that,
And even like I think one of the things I read, Roger Goodell will have less power over discipline things. Less authority in that sense. But I do think the sticking point, at least on face value now, is not really about guaranteed contracts or franchise tags. It's about 17 games. I think that is the one sticking point, at least that it feels like. We have no idea. But I'm just saying that's the one where I think that's why you get guys like Leonard Fournette tweeting today, I'm not for 17 games. I mean, they've been told of what's going on. They've been informed, hey, here's where it's at. Here's where the sticking points are. I mean, I think they met like 2 weeks ago at the Super Bowl. Right? They did. In fact, like the Thursday of Super Bowl week, all 30 well, not the Super Bowl teams, but the reps of the other teams met. So it's fascinating. I just thought from an economic standpoint, I had asked that question of before or after, which better, and I thought it would be more concrete of an answer, and it really isn't. You have some concrete answers for us? What's coming up on CBS 47 and Fox
I can tell you
30
what's
tonight?
coming up. I don't have any concrete answers, but I can tell you what's coming up.
What you got?
Would you like me to do that now?
I would.
Okay.
Because Kuz would like me to go to commercial
Would he?
in the next
Okay,
minute
well,
or
real
two.
quickly, we of course Jake Godbold had his they had the public ceremony for the former mayor today. Big event, as you would expect. A lot of folks there. So we have some really nice coverage of that. A lot of people showed up, and again, another run through of all the important things he had a hand in doing, including starting the process of getting the Jaguars here. He laid the foundation for that.
Yep. Is there a special, by the way, is there a special mayoral ceremony for passing of a mayor, former mayor? Is there anything unique about it?
This was just a no, I don't think so. This was a public. This is a guy who's been in Jacksonville for forever, ran the city for 8 years.
Yeah.
Influential.
Obviously, it was open to the public, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was packed at Prime Osborne. It was packed.
I just didn't know if there was like
Not an
normally
official
a formality to.
No. I mean, apparently he had before he passed picked some if not all of the speakers who spoke.
Okay.
He played a part in that and so anyway, no, not a formal city mandated thing.
This is what
this
happens,
was just a public goodbye
memorial,
a chance for people to celebrate his life and what he meant to the city. So we'll go through that, and that'll be a really a neat thing to see for anybody who has been in the city for a long time, or for those of you who haven't. A little history lesson, perhaps, which will be kind of cool. And then also, if you drive a pickup truck, there is this thing called the death wobble. Yes, the death wobble. The promotions,
Careful now, Brent.
The promotions folks love it when I use that term, the death wobble.
Hey,
They do?
It's pretty aggressive.
It is aggressive.
Just being honest.
So aggressive.
Do you experience the death
I've
wobble
never
while you're driving your pimped out truck to DJ Khaled? Khalid.
No.
Khalid. I think it's Khalid. You've been
It's
saying
Khalid.
Khalid.
It's Khalid, DJ Khalid, right?
Kuz. Is it Khalid or Khalid?
There's two, aren't there?
DJ Khaled?
Oh yeah, Khalid.
It's Khalid, and then there's Khalid. There's another. Isn't there another one?
Khalid, but he's not a DJ, he's a singer.
That's right. There's Khalid, and then there's DJ Khalid. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going down. We're going down our own death wobble right now.
Speaking of death wobbles.
Yes, there's certain trucks that are impacted by the death wobble,
Okay.
and we'll tell you which ones.
Is that
we'll
the-
tell you what it's caused. Well, we're looking into what's
Remember when
causing
you
it.
used to
There's
drive
no
like your
recall,
old
though.
car, like an older car
You know
or
when
whatever,
you-
and you'd get to 90?
Oh, yeah.
And it would start like,
Never, Brett, 90 miles per hour. Who's going 90?
Who would drive 90? That's against the law.
Yeah, not me. But I remember experiencing the shake, so I must have been going 90. Maybe my car was at 80 or 70.
That is not the death wobble.
But that's not what you're talking about?
No, this is more severe than that. Way more severe than that. That's just mostly like maybe not a really structurally sound car going faster than it's really probably
I don't even have a truck, and I'm intrigued with this death wobble now.
So the death wobble's a thing.
But it's strictly to a pickup truck.
Pickup truck. And but there's a lot of pickup truck drivers now. I mean, two out of the three of us drive pickup trucks.
I would say ratings should be soaring on CBS 47 and Fox 30 tonight. In Jacksonville.
So there's certain companies like
there's a certain kind of truck.
Blink if it's a GMC. Oh, Brent, it's coming. Don't worry. I understand. Don't give away the tease. I get it.
Did I not blink?
Yeah, eventually, it'll come around eventually.
What else? Watching, you'll learn, and I think that's a misnomer. I'm pretty certain that there has not actually been any deaths associated with this, but it's just a very violent shake that could be very dangerous.
I saw your promo for it.
Yeah. So we've got that. What else do we have? The weather's going to be a story.
Yeah,
it's
cloudy
and spotty showers out there now, but the cold is coming.
Every time I want to play golf, tomorrow I'm going to play golf.
Well,
it's going to be like 45.
Will you let me know the next time you plan to play golf so I can bank on not playing? How's that? Because your weather picks are bad.
Hasn't been good.
It's not been good at all. So
but tomorrow's going to be ugly around here.
Yeah, you don't want to play golf tomorrow morning.
Just like a one-day spell, though, isn't it?
It's going to be cool on Saturday too. All day tomorrow is going to be cold and not very nice for all the state semifinal soccer players.
Yeah, it's going to feel like Albany.
Fun for fans sitting in the stands freezing tomorrow night.
Oof.
But
that's
there's
why a lot of parents
local teams
try to get their kids to go to volleyball.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Brent?
That's why a lot of parents like to get their kids playing volleyball.
Yeah, or basketball. Yeah. Yep. Is that the music saying we're going to break? Is that Justin saying get out of here?
Well, you don't have headphones in, but that's wobble.
This is the wobble happening?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. Yep. Get in there.
That's a good call there, Coos.
Yeah.
It's a good call. Yeah. All right, I better go.
We'll see
Thanks
you tonight,
me,
5 o'clock on CBS 47.
Don't
Fox
sign
30.
a
That's
thing,
John
Jan.
Bachman.
Don't worry about it, man. I'll give you a call tomorrow. Let's go to Ruth Chris. Talk about it some more.
Selfish, greedy
playing
player.
the run, baby. Someone learn how to play the run. Uh-oh.
That's all right.
Uh-oh.
TC just called again. You got a lot to prove in 2022.
All right, John, let's go, man. ESPN Carolina. I heard they actually have TVs in their studio.
I might be back
man.
all by myself. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN690.
I don't need this. We're out of here.
The Players' Championship is almost here. Hey, everybody, this is Brent Martineau. Do you have your tickets yet? Win a couple of weekly Captain's Club tickets and a shopping spree in the new PGA Tour fan shop with me. Enter to win right now on the contest page on ESPN690.com.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Cooler tonight with periods of rain as temperatures drop into the 40s and only top out at around 50 on Friday with lower wind chills. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jack's Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where for a limited time,
0% financing store-wide.
Find out more at beardsdiamonds.com. ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
I'm Jake Mitchell. As we speak, NFL owners and player reps are discussing a new collective bargaining agreement. One of the moves that seems to be a done deal is expanding the playoff field to 14 teams, adding one extra team per conference while eliminating a bye for each conference. They have also discussed adding an extra game to the season and making the preseason shorter by a game. Here's ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter.
I think Roger Goodell would like to have this deal in place at the Combine in Indianapolis next week.
Former Browns tackle Greg Robinson was arrested with 157 pounds of pot. For context, it would take Snoop Dogg 2 weeks to use that much. He and an accomplice face up to 20 years in federal prison. Stay connected with ESPN 690 while you're at work by listening on ESPN690.com. Best kept secret in tires is TireOutlet.com. Tire Outlet offers wholesale prices, premium service, and TireOutlet.com always has a safety first focus. Locations throughout the First Coast, there's no need to go anywhere else with tires and service.
Hey, everybody, this is Brent Martineau. My family and I invested in a Kinetico system from CGC Water a while ago, and we're so glad we did. The team at CGC Water makes it so easy to get the best quality water running through my entire home and the best tasting drinking water right at my sink and it even makes the coffee taste better. Do yourselves a favor and start the new year off right. Financing options available with approved credit. Call 904-694-2424. Tell them Brent sent you or visit cgcwater.com, your local authorized independent Connecticut dealer.
In general, I'm a win-win guy. When I have to spend hours searching for the right part, it's lose-lose. It's time lost for me and lost time for my crew. That's why I order from Grainger. With product experts that have the answers to my toughest questions, an easy-to-use website to help me find the right product quickly, I can rely on Grainger to make getting supplies for my business as simple and seamless as possible. When it comes to getting things done, it's a win-win when Grainger's got your back. Call clickgrainger.com or stop by to see for yourself. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Let's say you have ED, male impotence, or maybe you suffer from PE and can't satisfy your partner. If you have either or both of these embarrassing conditions, Prime Men's Medical Center has the solution. Meet Dr. Rabinski, a specialist in men's health.
If you're experiencing ED or PE, Prime Men's Medical Center has custom blended medications designed just for you. There's no pain and no surgery. If you have diabetes, high blood pressure, or prostate issues, not a problem. If Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, Prime Men's Medical Center has patients lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer. You'll see results on your first visit guaranteed, or your visit is free. And best of all, it's affordable.
For a private consultation with our highly skilled physicians, call 904-206-8105. We guarantee that you'll see results on your first visit, or there's no charge for your consult. Call Prime Men's Medical Center now at 904-206-8105. That's 904-206-8105.
It's happening, people. Our friends at Arlington Toyota are getting a brand new state-of-the-art showroom. And that means the old stuff is coming down, and so are Arlington's prices. I'm talking up to 50% less on remaining 2019s and even 2020 models. How about a 2020 Toyota Corolla? It's not $18,095. Now it's only $14,991. That's $14,991 for a pre-owned 2020 Toyota Corolla at Arlington. And if you've got to have a 2019 Toyota RAV4, it's not $24,195. No. Now it's $21,581. Just $21,581 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota RAV4 at Arlington. Plus, you get the Arlington Toyota $5,000 Advantage Club, which includes a lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles with your purchase. Construction is underway and prices are coming down at Arlington Toyota. So get in today and pay up to 50% less on remaining 2019s and even 2020s. 10939 Atlantic Boulevard and online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/construction sale for offer details.
A family dinner, a birthday party, or maybe it's lunch. Make Rena's Pizza part of your plans. Want a fresh one? Rena's has fresh ingredients and fresh food throughout the menu. And oh, the pizza is so good. Hey, everyone, this is Brent Martineau. We love bringing the show to Rena's Pizza. Find your way to Rena's Pizza. Rena's has you covered with 5 locations in Northeast Florida: Marsh Landing, Bay Meadows, Argyle Forest, San Jose, and Neptune Beach. Rena's Pizza. Want a fresh?
Jacksonville Truck Center is here to help you get in the truck you deserve. When you need a fleet vehicle, Jacksonville Truck Center has the largest selection of pre-owned commercial vehicles, including cargo vans and work trucks. We're here to make it easy for you. There's commercial or personal financing available, even if you have bad credit. Don't spend your tax return money anywhere else. Visit the new Jacksonville Truck Center on Arlington Expressway next to the Southside Connector, or online at jacksonvilletruckcenter.com.
I'm Glenn Levine, a board-certified civil trial lawyer. That means the Florida bars recognize me as an expert in the field of civil trial. As a trial lawyer, I'm trained to investigate every aspect of your case. If you've been involved in a legal dispute and are not sure of your options, call me, Glenn Levine, at the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation, and take back control of your life. Office in Jacksonville.
You earned it. We double it. This week, Family Kia of St. Augustine will double your tax refund. Now, your $500 tax refund is worth $1,000. Your $1,500 tax check doubles to $3,000 towards a brand new Family Kia. And our selection has never been better. Right now, you can own a new 2020 Kia Sorento LX from just $20,999. That's a brand new Kia for under $21,000. And Family Kia wants your trade-in. No matter what you owe, we'll take it. No matter what it looks like, we want it. And we'll give you up to $5,000 over book value on the spot. So make the most of your hard-earned refund. You earned it. We double it. Take the short drive on I-95 and get double your tax refund. This week at Family Kia on US 1 South in St. Augustine. FamilyKia.com.
Double discount applied in the form of dealer discount up to $3,000 total. Offers cannot be combined. Sorrento price excludes tax, tag, and fee. See dealer for details. Expires into this month.
Hey, boss, did you hear the latest about the Ding Dong Doorbell Company?
Oh, no. Something that's going to send even more of their customers to SafeTouch, no doubt.
Oh, yeah, this might be the final straw. You know about their smartphone app?
Since I don't have a smartphone, no, I don't keep up with that stuff.
Okay, Grandpa. Well, customers download this app on their phone so they can see who's at their front door and stuff.
Yeah, I seen that.
Well, turns out that the app comes with these hidden third-party trackers that harvest and share personal information from the customer's cell phone.
Oh, yeah, that'll send folks to SafeTouch, all right.
Especially when they find out that SafeTouch has encrypted technology and they don't invade your privacy.
Every person that switches to SafeTouch is bad for us crooks. Because we gotta stick to the Crooks or Us motto, stay away from SafeTouch houses.
Crooks know to stay away from SafeTouch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of SafeTouch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call SafeTouch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Luxury begins at the door of Atlantic Infinity with your concierge, no-pressure customer experience.
Only one Atlantic Infinity.
Experience the wave of luxury in person at 10980 Atlantic Boulevard or at atlanticinfinity.com.
How are those New Year's resolutions going? Check in at the Jack's Health and Fitness Expo this Saturday, February 22nd at the Morocco Shrine Center for free fitness classes by Planet Fitness, free health screenings, chair massages, your chance to win multiple prizes like a 12-month membership, or free money in the Community First Credit Union's money machine, or a chance to find your furry soulmate with free adoptions on site by the city's animal care and protective services. All at the Jack's Health and Fitness Expo this Saturday, February 22nd. More info at jackshealth2020.com.
Golick and Wingo.
Andy Reid went into Super Bowl 54 with 221 career wins. So that means he got his 222nd career win on 2/2/20.
Golick and Wingo. Weekdays at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jag.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anna Jar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN690 and ESPN690.com.
It's tough, and it's, it's an emotional thing that has impact on, here at home, so finding ways to shake it. But the priority is always trying to figure out how to get through it and get around it. And then, at the end of the day, making the decision that's best for you.
That was Bickerstaff on Beeline. Mm-hmm. Killer bees. Queen bees.
Queen bees.
Queen bees.
Iowa Scandinavia bees.
Iowa Scandinavia bees. Wu-Tang Killer bees.
Beeline apparently going to stay on in some capacity. That means they probably want to say, hey, we want to pay you. If we're going to pay you, you're going to do something.
Right. Yeah.
Something. I mean, whatever that something is.
Just keep them behind the scenes, I would say.
Interesting situation in Cleveland, of course, with the whole Beeline front.
Did you see the whole story with the music being played?
I did until you guys just said it. I
so obviously there was the whole supposed or supposedly not, but he said he said thugs.
Yep.
And that obviously rubbed the locker room the wrong way. So I guess since his office was right next to the locker room, they would blast music like rap music with the word thug in it all the time. So like it kind of echoed out in the hallway a little bit to try to send a message, to their coach. So a little passive aggressive behavior. and like to me, it's like, listen, you're like a substitute teacher, man. Once you lose that classroom, it's all over. And I think he obviously lost that team.
Yeah, I think it was simply that.
Yeah.
And couldn't go on that way. We only got a couple minutes here because we went through a million breaks in the 4 o'clock hour. But I was just talking out in the hallway. Interesting thought about Ryan Newman.
Yeah.
And we're just having the conversation and brought up like what happened to him? Like, how did it go from this dire situation to walking out 36 hours later? It's a really good point. And it's like, first of all, hey, awesome. Miracle, right?
Most important thing, yes.
It's not like wow. But doesn't it feel like and this is a very selfish take on it, but I feel like we all might feel this way to a degree, whether we want to say it or not. It felt like Monday night into Tuesday, we were all invested so heavily in the Ryan Newman situation that although we don't have any relationship with Ryan Newman, we felt like we were all with him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
It's kind of one of those cool things, actually.
Sure.
Social media, I think, helps that.
Oh,
It
dude,
feels that
like
way.
I said, I mean, there was non-NASCAR fans. Everybody was out and about, reaching out and doing their thing.
And everybody had seen it. Whether you were
Correct.
watching the race or didn't watch a race, care about the race, didn't care about the race.
It's the number one trending story on Twitter the entire night for the past couple days.
Yeah, and everybody cared about Ryan Newman's health and,
Sure.
and what happened. So that being said, when he walks out of there and you get the updates, first of all, and you're like, okay, good, non-life threatening. And then you get the updates, he's alert. And now you get the updates, he's walking and talking to family and medical staff. And then he walks out of the hospital. And now kind of today, or maybe even yesterday, whenever this hits you, selfishly, aren't you like, well, what the heck happened to him?
Of course.
Like we still don't know what happened to him.
Yeah.
Like we know he was involved in a very bad crash. And we thought, at least, again, being at the track, and I'm not dramatizing this, we thought he might be dead. And now 36 hours later, he's walking out, thankfully, in almost miraculous fashion. But we want to know how. Like, what did he have that kept everything so quiet for hours and hours on Monday night?
Yeah.
And how did he not have anything like a cast on or anything else when he walked out of there? So how? Is that... Do we have a right to say that?
No, and listen, and I'm glad you said it because I didn't want to say it, but you said it for me, so fantastic to have this conversation. I absolutely agree with you because it's almost like, number one, it's not our business at the end of the day, right?
It really isn't.
But you know what? It's almost
and
like...
the hospital can't share, like HIPAA laws and everything else. And you got to respect privacy. I get it.
But when we saw everything transpire, and when we heard, the audio, and I watched it on TV, and like the way the announcers were coming across, and the way the crowd was so somber, and everyone's just kind of like just really low key. It's like, oh, dude, something bad happened for sure. And then now, like he walks out, and he's fine a couple of days later. Yeah, I get what you're saying because the picture was painted, and we were all invested. Where it's like, man, if he's not dead, it's going to be something, maybe he's going to be paralyzed.
Listen, I thought paralysis.
The guy's never going to walk again.
I thought broken vertebrae,
because
ribs, collapsed lung.
That's how everybody's vibe was.
Yeah.
And now we see him, well, first we see the picture with his two daughters walking out. We're like, oh, wow. Like, no cast.
This guy's
no
amazing.
Nothing. And now he walked out. It's like, yeah, I kind of need an explanation, man, because the mental gymnastics that I was going through in NASCAR racing on sports, I don't really even watch, but the mental gymnastics that I've been going through, dude, I got to know something's up. So what happened?
Yeah, I'm glad other people are liking it. Again, somebody else just brought it up to me in the hallway.
Yeah.
And it does have me, and you're like, you're right.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's not my right to know. I don't have to know. And we kind of feel like we need, but the level of investment that I feel like we all had in this story.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to know.
Dude, it's like watching your favorite TV show and it's like the season finale, it cuts out and the question doesn't get answered. Like, that's it. Come on, tell the whole story.
And what we know is that he's not driving this week. Ross Chastain is going to sit in, but we don't know if he's coming back. And I don't care about that part of it as much. Like, I shouldn't say I don't care about that. I think that's the right thing to do. If he needs to take a month off, if he never drives again because of that, I would understand. But I do feel like at some point we selfishly need to. Can you tell us if was it a bad concussion?
Yeah.
But wouldn't he still be in the hospital if it was that bad of a concussion?
For sure.
Like, I don't know. It's fascinating. Interesting story. Maybe we'll find out soon whether it's our right to know or not. It is our right to come back, and it's your right to listen. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
It's happening, people. Our friends at Arlington Toyota are getting a brand new state-of-the-art showroom. And that means the old stuff is coming down, and so are Arlington's prices. I'm talking up to 50% less on remaining 2019s and even 2020 models. How about a 2019 Toyota 4Runner? It's not $31,755. Now it's only $26,991. That's $26,991 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota 4Runner at Arlington. How about a 2019 Toyota Camry? It's not $19,745. No. Now it's just $16,291. Just $16,291 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota Camry at Arlington. Plus, you get the Arlington Toyota $5,000 Advantage Club, which includes a lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles with your purchase. Construction is underway, and prices are coming down at Arlington Toyota. So get in today and pay up to 50% less on remaining 2019s and even 2020s. 10939 Atlantic Boulevard and online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/construction sale for offer details.
It's time for some straight talk. You know what a full court press is in basketball, right? Full defensive coverage with no holes. Well, that's the kind of coverage you get with Straight Talk Wireless. It runs on America's best 4G LTE networks, same as the big carriers, but just for a lot less. Just $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G, saving you up to half the cost of the big carriers. No contract. Full court coverage, half the cost. Straight Talk Wireless. Everything for less. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Hey guys, Mike Golick here. Athletes are still athletes when they're off the field. That's why they still need to make good choices, like staying hydrated with Bolt 24, with antioxidant vitamins A and C, electrolytes from watermelon and sea salt, and no artificial sweeteners or flavors. Bolt 24 is all-day hydration for all-day athletes. It's available in delicious flavors like watermelon, strawberry, tropical mango, and mixed berry, and can be found in the sports drink aisle at most major retailers. Bolt 24, all-day hydration.
Be bold, Jacksonville. Whether you need to be cold or hot, Bold City Heating and Air will help, like they did with my home. Hey, everyone, this is Brent Martineau. Bold City Heating and Air has a good reputation. Clean, professional, and honest AC service. Right now, there's a $49 winter maintenance special. Keep your AC running efficiently and lower electric bills. Your AC is your biggest monthly utility expense, so make sure it runs effectively. Be bold and call Bold City Heating and Air, 904-379-1648, or visit boldcityac.com.
At Action News Jax, we're here for severe. When storms threaten, put your trust in the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Team, led by Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish, rated the most accurate for the last 13 years.
The First Alert Weather Team is the only team of certified meteorologists in the Jacksonville area. That means we have the most schooling and training to forecast and predict severe weather, and that experience will keep you safe from a storm.
Action News Jax First Alert Weather on CBS 47 and Fox 30.
It's time to chub it up at Mr. Chubby's Wings. Hey, everyone, this is Brent Martineau. You know I love the wings at Mr. Chubby's Wings. Also, though, I love the atmosphere. Lots of TVs to watch college hoops, racing, or MMA. It's a fun atmosphere day or night, lunch or dinner. A full menu, not just wings, but you got to try the wings, especially the Maple Cajun, my favorite. 2 locations, Fleming Island and the West Side. Chub it up at Mr. Chubby's Wings.
Jacksonville Truck Center is here to help you get in the truck you deserve. When you need a fleet vehicle, Jacksonville Truck Center has the largest selection of pre-owned commercial vehicles, including cargo vans and work trucks. We're here to make it easy for you. There's commercial or personal financing available, even if you have bad credit. Don't spend your tax return money anywhere else. Visit the new Jacksonville Truck Center on Arlington Expressway next to the Southside Connector, or online at jacksonvilletruckcenter.com.
Hi, it's Nathan from Gordon Chevy in Orange Park, where the price you see online is the price you pay when you arrive. No gimmicks or tricks like add-on fluff stickers some other dealerships use to add thousands to the price. Not here. Fast, fair, and transparent is what you always can expect at Gordon. And right now, during our auto show discount event, take up to $11,000 off new Silverados, up to $5,000 off new Equinox. Find us at the money-saving end of Blanding Boulevard and online at gordonchevy.com. Chevy, find new roads.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Right now, it was not unanimous, but NFL owners today voted to accept the proposed new CBA. Now the labor deal goes to players for approval. If a majority of players give the okay, the NFL has labor peace through 2029. Among the most intriguing aspects of the plan, a 17-game regular season schedule and expanded playoffs. More games mean more money, making the labor plan look like a win-win for both sides, says ESPN's Mike Tannenbaum.
Once this gets done, or an agreement in principle, now the NFL could go to all the various rights holders and say, hey, we have 10 years of labor peace. Now let's talk about really significant extensions and increases in those dollars. And now from the player perspective, they're going to get a higher percentage of the pie, and the pie is going to be a lot bigger.
In a highly unusual move, the Nevada State Athletic Commission banned Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury from engaging in a face-off after their weigh-in tomorrow. During yesterday's news conference, security rushed the stage after the two men pushed each other. They fight on Saturday night, the main event of an ESPN Plus pay-per-view card.
If you love Nature Valley sweet and salty bars, you'll love the new Sweet and Salty Minis. It's all of the indulgent, savory goodness you know, now in a smaller size. And at 100 calories, snacking has never been so sweet.
The Players' Championship is almost here. Hey, everybody, this is Brent Martineau. Do you have your tickets yet? Win a couple of weekly Captain's Club tickets and a shopping spree in the new PGA Tour fan shop with me. Yeah, I'll dress you for the Players. Enter to win right now on the contest page on ESPN690.com. Win tickets to the Players' Championship and a shopping spree at the Players' Championship from ESPN690.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
It's really, really hard to lose in this league. And from coming to, I think it was 44 years, 45 years of coaching at, either the Division I level, college, high school, to now to step into this is completely different. And, coming to a place where we only won 19 games last year, we had a number of guys turn over, maybe 27, 28 guys on the roster. Now to this year, trying to figure it out and create a different culture, that's really, really hard to do.
I guess it was really hard for John Beeline. That was Kevin Love.
Let me ask you this question. Do you think it's harder to come from college and go to the pros and coach? Or do you think it's harder to go from the pros and then go to college and coach? Like I'm talking about as a head coach. Like, for instance, Mel Tucker, he was a coordinator for a long time, was never a head coach in the NFL, but now he's going back to college to coach Michigan State.
Yeah, that's a good question. And I wonder if basketball and football and other sports are different in each scenario. Mm-hmm. It's a great question, though. I would say going from college to pro is more difficult than pro to college.
Interesting.
And I don't say that from the point of, well, it's harder to win in the NBA, and it might be. I'm just saying, or in the NFL. I say it from in the dollars and power struggle in professional sports, when you're marrying that against a coach, these days, not 20 years ago, but these days, when player X is making $30 million and coach is making $4 million, especially in the NBA where the players seem to run it, unless you're Greg Popovich,
sure,
or the old Pat Riley.
Steve Kerr for a little bit.
Yeah, but still, I feel like Draymond Green and Klay Thompson and Curry and Durant were running it. He let them. Yeah. And it was a good balance.
Well, and to prove your point, look at Billy Donovan, Russell Westbrook. When he was there, that was Russell Westbrook's team,
Absolutely.
Let's be honest.
So my point being, I think it's hard from that standpoint to get whatever you have in you, what's your plus side of being a coach? You're a great motivator? That doesn't matter at the pro level. Matters for about 10 minutes at the pro level. Might matter in the fourth quarter of a game and within the final minute. Is it that you're a great X's and O's person? Well, you know what? Like in the NBA,
it can make a difference.
It can make a difference, but in the NBA, I'm giving it to LeBron James and see ya, right?
Sure.
So anything that you bring to the table that's like made you so good and can work, it just doesn't correlate that much at the NBA level, especially when we're talking basketball, college to the NBA. But even I would say the pros. And I would just think there's overall this lack of respect for you versus not a full lack of respect, but less of a respect for you as a person of authority than there is at the college level. College level, kids have no choice. You're giving them a scholarship. You gave them a scholarship. They essentially
you
work
signed the
for
contract,
you.
yeah.
Yeah.
And signed the letter of intent.
And they're still impressionable at that 18, 19. They're trying to make it. They're trying to figure things out. They're hoping you can get them to get a job someday somewhere or make it to the NBA or make it to the NFL. So I think actually now that I'm talking this out, it's hands down easier for a pro coach to then flip over and say, hey, I can go recruit and motivate. It's different.
Yeah.
It's different. But I got a better chance. Like I've got a better chance of success going to try to recruit and work my ass off.
Sure.
going to try to motivate, because that's what I do as a coach anyway, whether they want to listen or not, even at the NBA
I mean,
level.
You have guys that are X's and O's type of guys. I mean, if talking about football for sure,
Yeah.
you know, you're more the motivator.
So I feel like it's no doubt, man. I mean, now that I talk it out.
And I'm actually the exact opposite.
Really?
Because I feel like if
I'm going to ask people.
Yeah, I like that. You know, and listen, each sport's different, right? So I'm going to use football as the example because that's what I'm accustomed to. So with football, Brent, like for a former NFL coach to go down to college, well, you're not just a coach anymore. You have to be a mentor. You have to make sure guys are going to their study hall. You have to talk to the teachers. You have to go out on the recruiting trail. It's just, to me, it's a lot more than just the X's and O's, right? Like, to be fair, I don't know what kind of college coach Bill Belichick would be. I know he's a great NFL coach because, number one, he's got the X and O's part down. He's got the culture part down. But then what happens if Bill Belichick goes to a university and now he has to talk to boosters, and now he has to try to raise money, and now he has to, he has to just abide by the college lifestyle? I think it's a different thing as opposed to, like, for instance, Matt Rule. I think when Matt Rule gets to Carolina, he's going to breathe a breath of fresh air because, wow, all I have to do is go over game plans. All I have to do is evaluate my personnel, and and I have coordinators to do that for me. That's all I have to do. I don't have to go to study halls. I don't have to worry about guys going to school. I don't have to motivate anybody because guys come in ready, motivated, ready to go. Man, it's a breath of fresh air.
I think, though, in a way, if I'm hearing you correctly, I think we're kind of talking about two different things, because I think you're not wrong there. I think that's why people go to the pros. I think you can debate that college is a harder work life, right? It's more work.
Yeah.
So to your point, but I thought you were basically saying, where can you be successful? Like, where's that transition to being? I can be, I think, going to that from being a college coach, by the way, where I have worked my butt off, and going to the pros. Yeah, it lightens my load technically because you're not recruiting and all those things. But being a good coach, and I think it's been proven, especially college to NBA, is hard. I mean, look, we did the worst coaches yesterday.
Correct.
Rick Pitino. I mean, he's one of the great college coaches of all time. Scandal, I know, but he still is. And he couldn't get it done. Calipari couldn't get it done. So, and now there are the Brad Stevenses, and even Billy's been okay, but Billy's better. And quite frankly, Brad Stevens and Billy probably were better college coaches at the end of the day.
Sure.
Now, Stevens might be kind of getting close because he's been very successful.
Yeah, for sure.
In Boston. But
keep in mind, Stevens had a good situation in Boston. He had an unlimited supply of first-round draft picks at his disposal.
He did, but they've still won. He's still been pretty successful. So I think, again, I think we're talking about two different things. I think it's debatable whether, would I like to go there? If I'm a coach, would I like to go to the NBA? Well, I think that's why Billy Donovan, quite frankly, is in the NBA.
Sure.
I think he lost the passion to grind it like you had to grind it, maybe. And I think that's why all those guys take that chance. So that's an easier. Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll could have stayed at USC or could win at USC or wherever. I mean, get in a little trouble there too. But, and he goes to the NFL. The NFL's a better life for a coach, I would say. But I think it's harder to go from that rank to the pros and be successful than it is to go backwards. I think you could easily have more success being a college coach after being an NBA coach.
Let me ask you this follow-up question then. So in terms of being on a longer leash, right? Because at the end of the day, it's all about wins and losses. Who do you think has the more longer of a leash? Is it the college coach or the football or like the NFL coach or the NBA coach? Because that should have your answer right there too. And I mean, let's be honest. Yeah. If you can go to a place where you have a couple more years to do your thing, implement your stuff, obviously that's more of an advantage.
I think although it's been that gap is probably closed, I think it's still like you have a longer life in college.
Yeah.
For two reasons. One, you get a honeymoon period in college where you really don't get that as much in the pros.
Yeah, you brought in to win right away.
You might get it if they're like say all this stuff didn't go wrong with Beeline and they knew they were resetting their roster. You might get that a little bit, but it's very unusual in pro sports to say, oh yeah, that year doesn't count. Like,
sure.
Technically they tried to say that, like to Gus Bradley, like that first year really didn't count, right? Because we had reset the whole thing. We're not holding it against you, but the fans did.
Yeah.
The fans do. So I think I would say college, you get the longer rope because one, you get a little bit of a honeymoon period. You get to establish it your way, at least for a couple years. And the money commitment to you, at least at the higher levels, is so big that they don't want to just waste it. They don't have that much money. Now, some schools do, but you've got to think twice if you're going to get rid of a guy and it's going to cost you $15 million to get rid of a guy and then bring in the next guy for a total of $50 million. You know? So the dollars have become so high that I think there is definitely a longer leash and a longer rope in college athletics to say, hey, I can stay here for at least 3 years. Very few times do we see a guy gone after 1.
Correct.
Very few times we even see a guy gone after 2. I would say it's at least 3 and most likely 4 or 5.
Sure.
Unless there's just a catastrophic problem.
I think Scott Frost is a great example. I mean, you know, he's a Nebraska guy. He's got roots there, and there's a lot of hype around him, but he hasn't won a lot at Nebraska. But no one's saying get Scott Frost out of there, at least I've
No, they've actually committed more to him, but they knew there was a big that's a great example of it. You know, the only time you see guys go in 1 year or 2 years is because they went.
Correct.
They wanted to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
NBA, NFL, we see guys canned after 1 year. I wouldn't say all the time, but more frequently. And 2 years, if you're not getting it done in 2 years, you might be screwed.
We'll see you later. Yeah.
So I would say to answer that question, I think it's interesting. But I do think guys think of that. And it's such a different world. And that's what's changed in our game. Like NFL has changed so much like that, right? It's a different game. I mean, this goes back now 7 or 8 years. I remember, I can picture talking to Maurice Jones-Drew at his locker and talking about, like he said at the time, he's like, I've become like a rare commodity all of a sudden at this stage of the NFL because I can go get 3 yards on a carry and fall forward and do that and maybe get 4.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Even on a bad carry. Guys coming through now, nobody knows how to run downhill in college. So nobody that they're drafting runs downhill. Now, I do think that's changed a little bit. The Derrick Henrys of the world, name your guy. I think there's more of that a little downhill guys.
Mark Ingram from the Ravens.
Ingram, you're right. It's like we've seen the running back change. Even in a decade time, it changed 2 different ways.
It's still all kinds of body types.
Yeah. So, but it was interesting to hear him say that, and it showed you how far away, at least at that time, we're talking 6, 7, 8 years ago, how far away the college game was relative to the pro game. Well, what we've seen now in the last 2 or 3 years is the pro game is adapting to the college game. They were too good for that before. They were too stuck on themselves to do that before. But now they are committed to do that because of the quarterback position especially. They say, we can't find a quarterback running a pro system very often.
Sure.
I mean, the group running a pro system in the NFL is right here. So we want this little group to adapt to this whole league.
It's a big thing, yeah.
So instead they said, you know what? We're going to adapt. And whether it's Lamar Jackson or Kyler Murray or Gardner Minshew.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
And name your guy.
It's a fantastic point, too, because if you look at those, you know, back in the day with the running backs like Maurice Jones-Drew, like an Eddie George, something like that, like there was a high commodity for those type of guys, right? But what happened? You know, the injuries start to pile up. And from the quarterback position, you know, you expect the quarterback, if he's good, to have a good 10 to 12-year career. If your running back is humming on all cylinders and he's running really well, guess what, man? Maybe 3 or 4 years tops.
Yeah.
Look at Todd Gurley. You know, like Todd Gurley got his new deal.
Maybe you stretch it to 6.
If you're lucky, I mean, if you're drinking that Frank Gore juice, all right, if you're having that
that juice is like 12 years.
Gore blood transfusion, whatever he's got in his blood that's doing his thing. It's not Jack 3D, I'll tell you that much. It's something besides that. But if you got like the Frank Gore, you know, the Frank Gore kind of juice, well then yeah, you're lucky. But usually the way that story pans out, even for Derrick Henry's standpoint, you got to keep in mind is how long can he sustain doing what he's doing. The quarterback, more than likely, it's the 10 to 12 years, knock on wood, you can stay healthy.
Yeah, I think it's all those conversations are fascinating. And the coaches that started our conversation here, which we had no idea we were even going to get to today, but it's a good one. And then the players now adapting, especially in the NFL. I don't know if basketball is a little more uniform, it feels, although it's a different game. I get it, but it's still more uniform. Like I'm always intrigued by the college guys that were okay that become great players in the NBA or really, really good players. And you're like, who is this guy? Like, where was he from? And you have more small school guys that are able to do that, right? In NBA, it feels like.
Sure.
Whether it is John Morant.
There it is.
But there's more examples
no, for sure.
than that.
Yeah.
And then even you see guys that don't translate. I mean, again, Jimmer Fredette, I thought was going to be a good NBA player because of his ability to shoot the basketball. Anybody will take a shooter. Well, it didn't really translate, at least not consistently, for him to be able to do that. And he was a fantastic player in college basketball. Like, he played at BYU, but he could have played anywhere.
But then you see Steph Curry, and look at what Steph Curry became. Well, it's essentially the same body type, the same style of play.
It is, yeah. And I would say the guy that sticks out to me in terms of unbelievable NBA career that I didn't feel like it was headed that way is Chandler Parsons.
Yeah.
You know, guy had an unbelievable NBA career.
Sure.
Became this star. So I think there's a little bit of that in the NBA, but there's also a lot of continuity and just guys maturing and becoming men rather than young men that can go play at the NBA level. Football, totally different. Yeah. If you run that spread offense and somebody comes in and asks you, and you run, like, how many times? It's the silliest thing in the world, but it's not. And we just had the conversation at the Senior Bowl with the guy that's Gordon, Anthony Gordon, who backed up Gardner Minshew at Washington State.
Yeah.
But the conversation, and we do this every year when it comes to quarterbacks, is, hey, how do you feel taking snaps under center?
Yeah.
How do you feel taking snaps under center? And I sat there, listened to the conversation, but we've been doing that ever since Tim Tebow came out.
Correct.
And probably before, but I remember when Tebow came out, I was like,
a huge question.
Can he take a snap under center? Gabbert, can he take a snap under center? You know, all those things. And it's like, why is that so hard? Well, it's not taking the snap under center. It's being able to get to your drop and your landmark and your eyes downfield and in a rhythm and hit your back foot and being in your footwork, be in the right place where, and a shotgun snap, you're already there.
Correct.
In a lot of ways. So you get the part of the question, and it's a real deal thing, even though it sounds so elementary and stupid.
Yeah.
Like, you can't take a snap?
And let's be honest.
You're a quarterback.
Well, even in the NFL, you don't see it a lot. You know, like, I mean, if you're in like the goal line package thing, I mean, listen, there's always going to be a need for a quarterback to be under center because there's always going to be 4th and 1s, 4th and 2s, and things like that. So you need that. But at the same time, to ask the question, well, how do people take a snap under center? If I'm a quarterback, I'll be like, well, how many times do you see a quarterback under center in the NFL? You know, I mean, the game's progressively going more and more shotgun. It's just, it's the way it is, or pistol, or whatever it is, you know?
Well, I'll transform this into one more part of the conversation. And it's Gardner Minshew related. And I talked to somebody in the last game of the year against Indianapolis. And somebody said to me, watch Gardner today. He's going to sling it around and have a game. And I'm like, why? He's like, because he doesn't have to give it to Leonard Fournette today. And he doesn't have to worry. He's going to start most of the time in that shotgun formation.
Yeah.
And he's going to be able to read the field, see the field, and just throw it all around.
Sure.
And it won't be this. There'll be a rhythm to it. There'll be a comfortability to it, and not starting in the, the one back set and under center. And he can do fine with that at times. And by the way, that's not a knock on Leonard Fournette. But I think there was a narrative a little bit. Are they running their offense a little bit too much through Leonard Fournette for the comfortability of a guy like Minshew or any quarterback? Can you run it through the running back too much? And some of that speaks to it. You know, I think we brought it up, maybe it was the Houston game on the 2-point conversion or whatever, and we said, doesn't Leonard seem to run better out of the shotgun set?
Yeah, we did talk about
where
that.
There's space available rather than everybody just crowding in and see if we can beat you. And we kind of pinned that on the offensive lineman.
Correct.
But at the same time, backs are now used to that. You know, not just Leonard, but all backs are used to that. And from a quarterback perspective, it was just really interesting for me to hear he's going to do better today without Leonard Fournette. And you know what? They were right.
I mean, yeah.
And I'm not saying across the whole 16 games he would, but somebody gave me a heads up and they said, watch him today.
Yeah.
And they weren't wrong.
Yeah. Well, then that begs the question, though, Brent. Because obviously you have a guy who's more comfortable being in the shotgun formation. So then, I mean, is that what you do? Like, you have Gardner Minshew right now, okay? Where he's standing, right now. More than likely going to be the starter going into next season. Do you try to force him to be the NFL quarterback of going under center and running all these plays, or do you cater to the fact that, you know what, under center, he's okay, the vision's not quite there yet, but you know what, out of shotgun, he can see the whole field. So do you switch the offense to go into the whole field then? And do you switch the offense to go in shotgun and put Leonard Fournette there for the running game and the shotgun?
Well, I think it's an interesting call, right? And I think it's one of the reasons we go all the way back to our conversations about do you need to decide sooner than later on a guy. keep in mind, Gardner Minshew was playing last year under Nick Foles and John DeFilippo's offense.
Correct.
Nick Foles is a more veteran guy. He can do a little bit of both. He's out of the shotgun quite a bit, I think, in Philly too.
Yeah.
But he can. They wanted to still be a play-action team. They were built to be a play-action team. Hard to be a play-action team out of the shotgun. You can.
Well, when I talk about like a bunch of quarterback options and read options, yeah.
So you can do it in a different way.
Yeah.
But you get my point. If you want to be a play-action team, most of the time you're going to be running out of under center.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's an interesting call. What will Jay Gruden do? And by the way, if you do that and stay out of the shotgun most of the time, doesn't mean you can't utilize Leonard Fournette. Like I said, I thought Leonard was good in that setup.
Sure.
I don't know if he'll be good 300 carries in that setup. I don't know.
But he's also showed the ability to be able to catch the ball and be a receiver as well.
So you can be more creative, potentially. So it's a fair question. I don't know the answer to that. You still got to be able to run the ball.
Yep.
So are you willing to say, hey, we're going to show this look all the time? I don't know if that suits Leonard the right way either. But I guess he asked this question if you're the Jags and their offensive guys. Do we cater to our quarterback or do we cater to our running back?
It's a good call.
In this league and in football, I would
what
play.
What we bid is the lifespan of a running back. And I'm knocking on wood for Leonard Fournette. I hope Leonard Fournette has a 10-plus year career. But if we're looking at it, wholeheartedly, the quarterback position is the most valuable position, and it's the position that usually the lifespan can last a little longer than running backs.
Well, and I think a more specific question would be, what's the lifespan of the running back? It goes back to yesterday's thing with Tannehill and Derrick Henry. Like, Tennessee has to figure out the same thing, right? I mean,
absolutely.
What are we going to be? Are we going to still be this, and are we going to shell this kind of money out to Derrick Henry?
And it's so crazy, too, from Derrick Henry's perspective, Brent, because if you're Derrick Henry, you're asking, would you send to your fans if the guy that was wholeheartedly, and with all due respect to Ryan Tannehill, but the guy that was responsible for putting your team over the hump and getting you guys to the AFC Championship game, how bad would it look if you don't give them that money?
Yeah.
So
like I said yesterday, man, Titans are stuck in a weird spot because they're emotional on two positions.
Yeah.
And both guys are due money or free agents. They get them, but they're emotionally tied to him because of what you just said. Tannehill one way because he helped them get there and he changed their team, and also Derrick Henry who actually did put him
and who's probably arguably the best back in the league right now. That's what the numbers say.
Yeah, and so those guys have every right to ask and have earned it and earned the opportunity to earn more. But is it the most prudent and good business decision to make if you took the emotions out of it?
Yeah.
For the Tennessee Titans, they're in a tougher spot than people want to admit.
Yeah,
I believe.
And it's like sometimes you almost got to go above and beyond just to kind of save face a little bit, because if you're to listen, Tannehill is one side of the story. We kind of went back and forth with him yesterday. But I think we're both in agreement with Derrick Henry. Like, that dude deserves to get paid. And I understand, the lifespan may not be there, but for what he's done, he deserves to get that money. So if you're the Tennessee Titans, do you want to give him that? Probably not, but you almost have to save face just to be like, dude, we appreciate you. You put the team on your back. Here you go.
You got to be very careful. And I'm not saying every fan in Jacksonville was clamoring for them to sign Blake Bortles after that run, but everybody liked Blake. And everybody saw what that happened in Blake. And everybody was like, okay, I get that. Not everybody. And I understand there are a lot of you out there saying, I did not. I didn't say that. I didn't. Well, that's what does happen. When you make the wrong mistake, everybody says, well, you're a moron. Why would you ever do that? We told you shouldn't do that. What I think Tennessee has to be careful with, and I'm not really a big fan of giving Tennessee advice, so hopefully they don't listen.
Yeah, I'm sure they're not. Don't worry. They don't like
But
you.
even on the Derrick Henry front, because this is where the Jaguars made a mistake, I think, on maybe even Foles, but more so on Bortles, is they had no competition to give him the money they gave him. Nobody was going, if you could seriously ask the question at that time, even coming off the AFC Championship, how many people were going to commit and sign Blake Bortles if they let him walk? And so you have to ask the same question for Tannehill at whatever he's asking. And Derrick Henry, whatever he's asking. And if Derrick Henry's asking for a $45 million contract, you have to ask yourself, okay, would the Rams pay that? Would the Giants pay that? Would the Jags pay that? Would the Texans pay that to him right now? And if the answer to that is, I think like 40% of the teams in the league would, well, then I'd probably be more apt to sign him.
Sure.
If the answer to that is like 5% of the teams would, I'm not sure I'm doing it. Because, again, I might hold the leverage there. He's going to go, if he wants to walk for cheaper, he's going to walk. So those are the questions that you have to ask yourself a little bit more. And I'm not sure the Jags did a good enough job of asking him that. And you could argue they didn't do a good enough job of asking for Foles, although I think the Foles situation was it didn't matter how many teams were involved. The Jags needed to make sure they got him.
Correct.
You know, and in hindsight, yes, I understand. Not a lot of teams were clamoring for him.
Yeah.
But the bottom line, what the Jags were looking for, if you take yourself back to last March, it was we need to win, and we need to win now, and this is our best chance to win, we think. And we cannot let somebody else swoop in here because we undersold what his value was. And so it was a little different situation, I think, for Blake. You kind of knew they weren't lining up at the door for Bortles. Sure. And the Jags said, hey, we'll line up at our own door.
Yeah,
for Blake Bortles. And that's a fair criticism of the organization when it comes to Blake Bortles.
Yeah, it was almost like the whole Derrick Henry thing where you kind of save face a little bit, right? Like you reward Blake Bortles because he was the quarterback that got you to the AFC Championship game. And it's like, well, hey, you guys do good. See what happens. Here's a contract.
Yeah, it's like the right thing to do.
Exactly.
But is it really the right business thing to do?
Guess what, though? I mean, yeah, exactly. It might have been at the time the right thing to do, but then what kind of message did you send to him when he's couple years later, he's gone, and other players in the locker room are trying to get their money as well.
Absolutely. Hey, a couple quick things before we take a break. We have a big game for UNF tonight. The Ospreys playing at Liberty. There's a watch party at Buffalo Wild Wings tonight. I think that gets going at 6:30, but the game starts at 7. Huge game. And you know this, the Ospreys have a legit chance to make it to the NCAA tournament. A lot has to happen between now and early March, but they really are good enough to make it there. Meanwhile, on the campus of Jacksonville University, I went over to their celebration for their 50th anniversary last night. That was really cool. Well done by everybody at JU. And great to see some of the old timers. Of course, we're running into Artis Gilmore quite a bit. But that 1970 team, one you can really appreciate if you've been around Jacksonville for a long time. But if you haven't, and you haven't watched anything like the documentaries out there or Googled it, read articles on it, I invite you to do it because it's fascinating to think that a basketball team, Jacksonville University, in this city could be the runner-ups in the NCAA tournament even 50 years ago to the great John Wooden in UCLA. It's almost unfathomable to the point where I told Ty the story. I'm like, yeah, they lost the national championship game. He's like, they did what? It's like, how the heck did they make it to the national championship game? You know, you just don't compute that if you're a younger person right now. But it was that big of a deal. Remember, this is way before the Jags were around or anybody were. Big deal. And tonight they play a game at Swisher Gymnasium. They'll be wearing the old-time uniforms as well. So really cool and fun couple of days for Jacksonville University as they celebrate 50-year anniversary. Again, I can relate, man. To me, that's like JU back in 1970 was like my 1987 Providence Friars. Sure. Like they might never go to a Final Four again. They might not. Yeah. But they did that the year, and I was 9 to watch it, which was kind of cool. And it'll always be a memory. It's why I like Rick Pitino, even though I probably shouldn't as much anymore, and Billy Donovan and those kind of things. Yep. But Artis Gilmore's been a legend around here for a long time because of that. So pretty cool stuff on the basketball front. All right, a little back to football and other things happening in the world of sports. There was an interesting tweet that just came out about the CBA. I'll share that with you when we come back on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
On and off rain tonight as temperatures drop into the 40s. A cold Friday, and it'll be windy with some drizzle and light rain in the morning. Some afternoon sun, but highs only in the lower 50s. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where for a limited time,
0% financing store-wide.
Find out more at beardsdiamonds.com. ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
I'm Jake Mitchell. As we speak, NFL owners and player reps are discussing a new collective bargaining agreement. One of the moves that seems to be a done deal is expanding the playoff field to 14 teams, adding one extra team per conference while eliminating a bye for each conference. They have also discussed adding an extra game to the season and making the preseason shorter by a game. Here's ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter.
I think Roger Goodell would like to have this deal in place at the Combine in Indianapolis next week.
Former Browns tackle Greg Robinson was arrested with 157 pounds of pot. For context, it would take Snoop Dogg 2 weeks to use that much. He and an accomplice face up to 20 years in federal prison. Stay connected with ESPN 690 while you're at work by listening on ESPN690.com. Best kept secret in tires is TireOutlet.com. Tire Outlet offers wholesale prices, premium service, and TireOutlet.com always has a safety first focus. Locations throughout the First Coast, there's no need to go anywhere else with tires and service.
It's a huge hoop game in Virginia tonight. Hey everyone, this is Brent Martineau, and this is your Swoop Minute. It's a showdown for first place, and the winner is in the driver's seat to win the regular season A-Sun Championship. The UNF Ospreys visit Liberty at 7 p.m. The two best teams in the league all season long. The Ospreys won the first meeting here in Jacksonville. It was a close one, 71-70. The Ospreys have now won 6 in a row, and UNF continues to lead the country in three-pointers made, and they lead the conference in scoring. Meanwhile, Liberty leads the conference in scoring defense. 7 p.m. watch party at Buffalo Wild Wings to see the game tonight. Other Osprey sports in swimming, 2 relay teams finishing top 8 at the CCSA Championships. The championships continue Thursday. In tennis, Lucia Montano and Nilo Duarte each take home Player of the Week honors on the women's and men's side, respectively. Looking at the upcoming schedule, Saturday the women's basketball team will be home at 1 p.m. and the men's team will play at 5 p.m. at UNF Arena. It'll be senior day for both teams. News, schedules, results on UNFOspreys.com. I'm Brent Martineau, and that's your Swoop Minute.
Ever wish we could get a new car with low monthly payments?
We can at Community First. Great rates, fast approvals, and they'll even delay your first payment for 90 days.
Ever wish we weren't driving a little scooter down JTB? Ah!
Wishing for a new car? With Community First, you get a great low rate and delay your first payment for 90 days. Learn more at communityfirstfl.org. Community First. Love where you bank. Insured by NCUA.
Most people don't realize there is a Holocaust gallery right here in Jacksonville at Jewish Family and Community Services. Also, there are many Holocaust survivors that live locally. The Frisch Family Holocaust Memorial Gallery features rotating exhibits, making it a great free resource to schools, civic groups, anyone. And it's so important we remember, especially our youth. Jewish Family and Community Services, here for remembrance, here for Jax. Learn more at hereforjax.com.
Think it may be time to sign up your kid for sports? Bring them to the Jax Health and Fitness Expo this Saturday, February 22nd at the Morocco Shrine Center to see how they do in a free soccer shot session. There's plenty more to do, like face painting, health screenings, free fitness classes, games, giveaways, and free animal adoptions on site, all at the free Jax Health and Fitness Expo powered by Planet Fitness this Saturday, February 22nd at the Morocco Shrine Center. For more info, visit jaxhealth2020.com.
Slip and falls can be embarrassing, leaving you in pain and feeling like you've lost control. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar & Levine. After a fall, document the scene by taking photographs. Make sure to get medical attention for any injuries you may have. If you've been injured in a slip and fall, call the law offices of Anajar & Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
Hey, it's Mike Golick from Golick & Wingo. Thanks for making ESPN 690 the fastest growing sports station in Jacksonville. Clearly, it's because I'm on every morning from 6 till 10 a.m. But this isn't about me. It's about your business. Get your business noticed today. First Coast is making the switch to ESPN 690, and there's no better time to get on our team than right now. Call ESPN 690 today, 245-8732. That's 245-8732. Grow your business today on the new ESPN 690.
You've enjoyed the pleasures of or always wanted a luxury vehicle? Now you can step up to the highly affordable collection of Edition 30 luxury Infiniti SUVs and sedans. Celebrating 30 years of Infiniti luxury driving pleasures. Atlantic Infiniti invites you to bring them your trade. They'll work with you to move you up to the luxury Infiniti of your choice. 642-0200 for your personal tour of the remarkable Infiniti Edition 30 collection at the one and only Atlantic Infiniti. 642-0200 or at AtlanticInfinity.com.
A family dinner, a birthday party, or maybe it's lunch. Make Rena's Pizza part of your plans. Want a fresh one? Rena's has fresh ingredients and fresh food throughout the menu. And oh, the pizza is so good. Hey, everyone, this is Brent Martineau. We love bringing the show to Rena's Pizza. Find your way to Rena's Pizza. Rena's has you covered with 5 locations in Northeast Florida: Marsh Landing, Bay Meadows, Argyle Forest, San Jose, and Neptune Beach. Rena's Pizza.
I'm Mel Turan, Executive Director of the American Cancer Society. The Players was instrumental in bringing the Richard M. Schultz Family Foundation Hope Lodge to the Jacksonville area, allowing us an opportunity to give cancer patients and their caregiver a free place to stay while seeking treatment. It's 18 days until the Players.
Jacksonville Truck Center is here to help you get in the truck you deserve. When you need a fleet vehicle, Jacksonville Truck Center has the largest selection of pre-owned commercial vehicles, including cargo vans and work trucks. We're here to make it easy for you. There's commercial or personal financing available, even if you have bad credit. Don't spend your tax return money anywhere else. Visit the new Jacksonville Truck Center on Arlington Expressway next to the Southside Connector or online at jacksonvilletruckcenter.com.
Hey, boss, have you heard? More dirt about the Ding Dong Doorbell Company.
Uh-oh, what is it now?
Get this. Some software engineer for the parent company has called for the immediate and permanent shutdown of the company because of privacy issues.
Whoa, this is huge.
Yeah, you just can't keep track of all the hacking stories. Oh, and they just fired employees for spying on customers.
You realize this is bad news for us crooks, right?
What do you mean, boss?
Think about it. When these Ding Dong Doorbell customers finally get fed up, they could end up going to Safe Touch.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Once folks compare the cheap, unreliable, and vulnerable DIY system to a Safe Touch system,
then we've lost them forever. Boss, we gotta hope this Ding Dong Doorbell Company stops messing up.
Exactly. Because we gotta stick to the Crooks Are Us motto. Stay away from Safe Touch houses.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
2020 models are on the lot at Arlington Toyota. And if you want to get behind the wheel of one today without buying, then all you need to do is rent a Toyota. Yes, rent from Arlington Toyota. Toyota Rent-A-Car is the best way to try it before you buy it. And renting from Arlington Toyota puts you behind the wheel fast and easy. So if you've got a road trip coming up, long weekend with friends, or maybe you just want to try out all the new 2020 bells and whistles, Toyota Rent-A-Car at Arlington Toyota has just what you need, with an amazing selection of 2020 Toyotas that are ready to hit the road today. Everything about renting a Toyota from Arlington Toyota is easy. They've got amazing 2020 models, simple online reservations, and their staff is always eager to help. 2020 models are ready to go, so if you've got a new 2020 ride on your mind, why not try it before you buy it with a Toyota Rent-A-Car from Arlington Toyota? Just visit arlingtontoyota.com. That's arlingtontoyota.com and get your online reservation started today.
The Players' Championship is almost here. Hey, everybody, this is Brent Martineau. Do you have your tickets yet? Win a couple of weekly Captain's Club tickets and a shopping spree in the new PGA Tour fan shop with me. Enter to win right now on the contest page on ESPN690.com.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
I'm eating a lifesaver.
Huh.
I wasn't finished. I was hoping Kuz would have a little sound coming in.
Sorry. Oh, yeah. Usually he does.
Well, instead of that, how about we hit the happy hour horn?
Now we're talking.
That's a good
Buy
audible
us some
right
minutes.
there. Huh?
I like
Buy
that.
me 20 seconds.
Omaha. There it is.
Y'all no make nobody come between us. Y'all make nobody come between us. Oh, cherry baby.
Grab a drink, get a shot, and tip your star tenders. How's that?
That was excellent. I'm trying to get a good feel for what's going on with the new CBA.
Yep.
And these are interesting takes. It depends who you read and see, but this is here's one of the takes. Chad Ford's NFL Draft Bites. Is he I don't know. It's just somebody. But it says CBA negotiation process testament to why owners believe Roger Goodell is worth $30 million. Didn't just win. He crushed D. Smith and cleared the field. Gave players take it or leave it proposal, 1.5% raise for more work, or Goodell takes away Christmas. 2020 free agency.
Okay.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Yeah.
There are some thoughts that at the earliest 17-game schedule would happen is 2021, right? That's what people are saying because that's a new CBA.
Yeah.
But there's folks think that light isn't going to happen. It's more like 22 or 23. Mm-hmm. When that, again, these are just kind of the consensus of of some of the national guys reporting on it. And one of the new things that just came out recently is, if I can find it, 16-game schedule. If it were to happen early to 17 games, that players would just get an added paycheck, like another game check.
That's it.
That's it. Well, that ain't going to fly.
No. I mean, are we seriously having this conversation right now?
Well, I'm just giving you. I'm
I'm not talking about you, man. I'm talking about these people on the internet. No offense to you.
But that's so. Here's Tom Pelissero. I finally found it. Gosh, I had to go way down my timeline for this. How would players be compensated for a 17th game if they signed contracts based on a 16-game schedule? Basically, under proposed CBA, they'd get an extra game check, but it'd be capped off at $250,000 per sources. So the highest paid players would play for less than usual. Well, and Tom says, remember, all players make the same amount in the postseason already. So for those highest paid players, the most important games are worth the least in terms of actual dollars in general. But there's two things here. One, why would they cap it off at $250 for a 17th game under a 16-game CBA? And two, that makes no sense because I want more money than I want more of the pot anyway, of the pool of money, because that's a more dangerous game. Nobody's tried this yet, going from the 12th game to the 14th game to 16th game to 17th game. I want more of it. It's not just tack on another game. We're not prorating this, I wouldn't say. And then the other part of it is, well, it's most likely not happening under a 16-game agreement anyway. This isn't happening in 2020, in my opinion, and I don't think really in any opinion. So I don't think we're going to have to worry about this part of it. But if that's the whole negotiation of a 17th game, we'll just prorate and add on top. I think it's going to have to be a bigger boon for players to sign on to that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because essentially you're saying, all right, another game, no problem. Like, no, you have to – this is how negotiations work, man. Like, for the players that come along with you, you have to sweeten the pot. You have to make it worth their while. Then just adding another paycheck to it does not do that.
This is this is some more context. Dan Graziano. Would basically affect anyone currently scheduled to make more than $4.25 million in a year. That turns into a 17-game season. So I'm following along now. These are contracts that are already up. And so say it didn't even start until 2022. So in your fourth year of a contract that you already signed, this is where the prorated nature of it would come in. Graziano says at this time, about 125 players are scheduled to earn more than $4.25 million in 2022. And very few of those contracts will actually see that year, which is true by that time. But it's still, let's just say it's 50 players. It's still a significant amount of people that might be under contract and did that contract prior to this new CBA being done. It's an interesting element of it, something I hadn't really thought about, but an interesting element of a new CBA that could be done whenever it gets done for guys that are already under contract, especially if new contracts are more and more and more. But it doesn't sound like. It sounds like if you signed a 4-year deal like Miles Jack's deal, this is where like a Miles Jack deal might look pretty good. If he ends up being like playing what way they think he can and he thinks he can, this one might look pretty good because he's still got, 3 years left on that thing. And it's not like he's going to go get a bonus back on that deal because everybody else is getting more money now. He could quickly become the third highest paid linebacker to like the 24th highest paid linebacker in a year or a year and a half. So it's interesting in that respect. You're not going to go back and get prorated and bonused and all that stuff if you're a player that's already under contract.
No, and I get that standpoint. But once again, I mean, with all this stuff breaking right now, it's just I have a hard time believing. I mean, maybe this is what's going on, but for it to be able to follow through with the NFLPA, I mean, there's no way. I'm sorry. But
yeah, it's not happening.
Yeah.
So, again,
hate to be
my house is
bad
on
news. Yeah, well, your house is on it. My shoes are on it. And let's be honest, man, our ESPN690 reputation is on it, really. So
yeah. Well, listen, here's one more facet to that part of it. I don't mind the fact that it's out there that the owners have somewhat agreed on something. That's at least a good thing. I mean, that's how negotiations work. I mean, I've got to be comfortable with what I want on my side. to be able to offer you and see what you think on your side. That gets the dialogue going.
Sure.
So just because I'm not sure if it's the right thing to do, put it out in the public or not.
Well,
but the bottom line, we understand the
optics.
posturing there.
Yeah,
we get the posturing. And I don't know if I like that is what I'm saying. But I do like the idea that here we are on February 20th.
Yeah.
And this is a CBA that's not up for another year and change. And the owners are in agreement on what they at least want.
Yeah, no, I get that point, Brent. But it just bothers me, though, because I guarantee the deal is going to be so short-sighted and shortchange the NFLPA so much that they're going to have no choice but to respond and say absolutely not. But once again, we talk about the optics. I mean, listen, this is a power play by the owners to be like, well, hey, we did our part. What's up with the NFLPA? Why don't they do their part? It's just, it's flexing. It's the optics. And, like, listen, the NFL owners didn't put this new agreement out right now to get a deal done. All right, this is more of just the head game and set the table. And to tell you the truth, I think it's stupid. Okay, and I see where they're coming from, and it puts players in the bad light. So this is me, I guess, being biased towards the players once again. What else is new? But it's pointless because it's not genuine. It's just used for a power play, and when you do that, you don't really look at the big picture. Nothing gets accomplished.
Well, I do say that. I would say this. I don't know if it's just that. I don't think it's useless.
Yeah.
If you have gone up to 1.5% more, which is billions of dollars, you're making a gesture.
Yeah.
If you have said marijuana, what's the word I'm looking for? You get caught. Punishment for marijuana use is less. Medical marijuana is part of it. Goodell has less authority. I mean, if you're making concessions, whether it's public or not, it's not useless. You're moving the conversation forward. Now, we know how negotiations work.
But why aren't those getting announced, though, too, Brent? Right? Like, why isn't there a headline saying it? Well, guess what? NFL owners come around on medical marijuana, and part of the CBA is going to be the players can sign that. Like, we're not hearing any of that.
Well, I did read somewhere in there, though. I'm not making that up. I think I read someone's article, and whether it's right or wrong, I don't know. But I'm just saying I read someone's article that in this current thing that the owners are agreeing on, where they had this emergency meeting and kind of set all the drama up for it, was authority for Goodell, not as much. Marijuana loosened.
Yeah.
All those things. So it was in that.
Okay.
But you're not wrong in saying this is posturing. And also, the owners are smart. They know who's on their side when it comes to, you want more football? You want more playoffs? You want the players to play and agree to this thing? Guess who's on your side, owners?
Yeah.
The fans. And so they're not wrong in that. But listen, at the end of the day, and I understand where you're coming from, and we always like authenticity and genuine nature, and you'd like to be able to do business that way. But let's be honest, business doesn't often get that way, especially if you're talking about billions and billions of dollars.
Correct.
And strong-arming is part of a negotiation.
Yep.
So I think that's playing out a little bit right in front of our own eyes. All right, you got a little balling and falling today.
Little balling and falling, man. So balling. Brent, you probably don't watch this show. Kuz, you watch Westworld?
I do not.
Marcel's in the studio. No, guys, get out there. Get your palates on a new TV show that's game-changing.
Criminal Minds.
Criminal Minds. Criminal Minds is like Law and Order. It's just like, okay, oh, good. Someone's a killer. You got to go find him. Oh, we caught him. Oh, he got away. Oh, wait, we caught him again. Oh, wait, let's go to season 3 now. Oh, the killer's back. No. Hey, get out of here. Westworld, baby. So, Brent, season 3 of Westworld coming out real soon. Guess who's in the trailer? Guess who's making his acting debut?
Gronkowski.
Marshawn Lynch, even better. Yeah. So Marshawn Lynch is featured in the new Westworld Season 3 trailer, and I think that's balling, man. The guy's living his best life.
He usually does live his best life. There's no doubt about that.
Stuart Weber just texted me. He watches Westworld. I love you, Stuart.
I'll tell you what, Weber is odd in that sense that.
Okay, first of all.
Well, you can stop there. Weber's odd.
Whoa. But hey, careful now. Hey, Brent. Mind your P's and Q's.
No, but he's odd in the sense that, like, you could almost mention, like, something that, say, Kuz, like, it's not surprising I don't watch that, right?
Yeah.
But you'd think maybe Kuz or Marcel would.
Yeah, it's a popular show.
Right?
Yeah.
But Weber would.
Sure.
And then those guys will say something that you think, I don't touch it. But Weber would still watch that, too.
Okay.
Weber's well-rounded.
I got you.
In that sense.
Yeah.
Like, he's got interests all
he's
over
the place. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's really into those genres, man. I respect it.
Yeah, like, like if I have to ask a question about, like your Japanese wrestling,
sure,
he'll have an answer.
Oh yeah, he's
like,
a big
the comic stuff or whatever. I don't even know what I'm talking about.
It's called anime.
Anime.
Yeah, there you go.
He knows about it.
Get through it. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now, what people are saying right now, hey, moron. A lot of people know about it. It's not just Weber and Austin.
Stuart and I have had anime conversations before, man. It's good stuff. Hey. Get cultured, There's other things out there besides SportsCenter 24/7. All right?
I don't even watch that. My kids these days are watching Chicago PD. All the time. Like, they are hooked on Chicago PD.
I gotcha.
Like,
never gave it a try.
Binge watching it.
Really?
Weird.
Is it good? Have you seen it?
Yeah, I mean, I like those shows, too. I'm not because I'm on your side. I'll flip on all those shows.
You can only do so much.
You could put money on the fact that one of the Law and Orders or Criminal Minds is always an option on one of the channels.
You can only do so much on Criminal Minds, man. There's criminals out there. Good. Got it.
What? But I got one more problem since we're on this thing.
Okay.
What is worse, to walk into? Careful. When I come home at 12:30 at night or whatever.
Okay, very careful.
This is very careful now. You're like, holy cow, where's this going?
That's what I'm thinking right now.
It's not going there.
Okay.
But The Bachelor or the Hallmark Channel?
So, dude,
it's every night.
So I just glanced. So I haven't seen The Bachelor. I haven't watched The Bachelor since like season 1 when I was like in middle school. And for whatever reason, I glanced on it a couple nights ago. It is unwatchable. Like, at least the Hallmark, like, I think you can kind of make fun of the fact that sometimes the acting's bad, right? Or the storylines are ridiculous. But The Bachelor in itself, it's so bad because it's coming off as people are trying to be serious. Like, it's reality television. Like, who would sign up for this? Like, what? In the world of Tinder and Plenty of Fish and all that stuff, why would you go on a national television show with 20 other girls or 30 other girls and try to duke it out for one man? That's not how love works. Check yourselves.
I know it.
Ladies,
I will say this.
And men, too, because there's The Bachelorette.
I was very proud of myself the other day. I came home and Steph's watching Hallmark Channel. Now, it's usually The Bachelor.
Yeah.
And I can't stand The Bachelor.
Yeah.
But she's watching Hallmark Channel. And it's like, well, okay, whatever. But I was like, I know who that person is, that actress. I know who that is.
Yeah.
I was like, who is it? I was like, is that Winnie from the Golden Years? No, Golden Years?
Winnie Cooper.
Winnie Cooper, right? Golden Years, right?
The Wonder Years, but
Wonder
you're all right.
Years.
Yeah, you're good.
Winnie.
You're
I got Winnie. So I was like, hey, that's Winnie.
Winnie Cooper?
Because Winnie all grown up.
Might have been one of my very first crushes ever.
Yeah.
Winnie Cooper, dude.
So Winnie was on the home. That's who ends up on the Hallmark
Winnie Cooper's
Channel.
on the Hallmark commercial?
Yeah, she was on a
all
movie.
in. I'll tell you what, man. You put Winnie Cooper and Becky the Icebox O'Shea from Little Giants. Now we're talking.
Very good. Gosh, I'm so bummed that I screwed up Wonder Years. But anyway, real quick, NBA's balling because they're riding this momentum.
Yep.
Right? So they start up again tonight. We'll see what happens. Zion Williamson, big second half. We'll see what happens. What do you got for Fallen?
Fallen, I think we have the same Fallen here. What was the player that got caught with the...
Greg Robinson.
Greg Robinson, yeah. Caught with 100 and how many? 46 pounds?
I don't know, but it was worth a lot of money. But he's made like millions of dollars. Like, why is he smuggling marijuana across the border?
157 pounds.
It's worth like $750,000, they say.
Come on, man.
I got a different phone real quick.
Okay.
Big Papi. I love Big Papi.
Yeah.
But he called out and called Mike Fires a snitch. And he kind of defended Jose Altuve.
Yeah.
And it's like, again, I'm on Fire's side on this. If all the players are this mad about the whole scandal, how can you almost got to send that guy a thank you note for stopping it when he did. I get the in the locker room stuff, and he kind of broke that to a degree. But he did it for the betterment of baseball in the long run. Should he be a hero in a parade thrown for him? Probably not. But I don't view him as a snitch.
Yeah.
That was shame on you, the Astros. All right. We'll be back tomorrow. Could have a conversation with Deontay Wilder.
Maybe.
And more tomorrow on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN690.
First Take, Your Take with Jason Fitz.
I think what we have to remember here is that we all define MVP differently. What does MVP mean? Most valuable is a very gray area. Putting best player in as MVP, and I don't know that they're the same thing because ultimately right now, arguably the best player in the NBA is Giannis Antetokounmpo.
First Take, Your Take with Jason Fitz.